always, we're rolling. We are here live in the living flesh.
No, my internet went
Ronnie
down.
doesn't have the internet right now. He's trying to work on that.
Guys.
Hey guys, this is Markell.
And this is your boy Ronnie.
That's Ronnie. That's what he actually looks like.
Yeah.
You see? This is Queen of the Universe.
Hello, guys.
And part-time Eric. We're all here in the living flesh. We're here. Happy holidays. Hope you guys had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, and all other Kwanzaa nations of things that Kwanzaa Nation. That's what it's called,
it's
right?
Kwanzaa.
Oh, Kwanzaa. Sorry. Harambe.
Just happy holidays.
Harambe.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy holidays
Yeah.
across the board. So we are here with the year-end show. This is the final show of 2019.
Not just 2019, but the decade.
The decade.
Yes,
That's
the
right.
decade
You're right.
is ending. Holy
Wow.
crap.
I feel
You're
so young. I feel so young.
Whoa, I'm only 22.
Anyway, just we're going to go right into some of the best. We have some topics for you guys, of course. Always comics, wrestling, TV, news. You guys know the drill.
God,
If you don't, and it's your first time, thank you for joining up with us, and we hope to see you within the new year. So we're gonna go right into best movies. We'll start with the best movies of the year.
Now we're working.
So,
okay.
we're gonna do a list of 5 from each of us.
Oh,
We're gonna do
God.
5.
Five? Is
Why
it
not? Let's do
No,
3.
Why not 5?
That's too many.
What
How about 3?
Yeah,
All right, fine.
Yeah,
All right, we'll go with 3.
How about 2 or 3?
Listen,
2 or 3. All right,
I
that's
was
fine.
not prepared, so
Okay, all right. So we'll go with 3. I have been
3
outvoted.
each.
I would be sad.
you can give your 5.
I don't have.
Yeah, if
5.
you have-
No,
Oh,
like, I'm
wait,
kidding.
you
I'm
don't
totally
even-
kidding. I'm totally kidding.
How
I
you
have
gonna
5.
say 5? and
I'll
not
do
have
you one
5?
better. Top 10.
I'll do you one better. Where is top 10? All right, so here we go. We're gonna start with Ronnie over here because he's prepared with the internet. What was your top 3 movies of 2019? That's a lot of movies this year, man.
How about I do one and then we go around?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
He's gotta change it up. I like it.
Just in case, too, I want to change something up.
Sure. All right. So, what is your no particular order?
No particular order, but probably no-brainer. I'm gonna say Avengers Endgame.
Avengers Endgame. I would second that notion. One of the best movies of the year. No, no.
Oh, I agree.
Avengers Endgame.
Avengers Endgame. That's 3. Come
A lot
on,
of geek
4.
out moments there.
What do we? So what was your from that movie? What was your? What was your number 1 if it wasn't?
I can't say that it was my number 1, but I would go with Spider-Man.
Far From Home?
Yeah, Far From
Oh,
Home.
wow,
That,
okay.
it wasn't my top, but it definitely is one of the top movies because to segue off of your Avengers
I would agree with that.
answer.
Nice segue.
It that one got me back in the game. You know, we'll get back to that conversation later.
Well, it's all good. It's all good. If anyone doesn't know, a conversation we had was that we had some conversation around Homecoming. You might remember from an episode. She might not even remember the fact that we actually had that conversation on the show.
Yeah, but
Sound
it's
like
the
Troy
people who might have
McClure.
missed that, and you have to
Oh,
catch them
I
back
gotta
up.
catch them back up. All right.
There you
All
go.
right. Well,
It's like watching an episode.
quick
of
recap.
Supernatural.
She
We
loves
gotta
Tom
we gotta
Holland. She's
rewind.
always
We
loved Tom
gotta-
Holland.
Back.
You go back to that episode. I don't know which one it was, but just scroll through, listen to them all in order to get to it. Yeah, Far From Home. So, what was it that you loved about it? What was your?
My best scene was that fight scene they had where it was nothing but illusions.
Yes!
That scene itself
Yes!
was like the best fucking thing.
Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal,
Yes.
my man. Go, you did your thing.
We all had the
appreciate
privilege
that.
of meeting him too. What a great
Yes.
guy. Great guy.
What was the name of the play? Seawall.
Yes.
Seawall? Yeah. Yeah, Seawall, definitely great. I didn't get a chance to see the show, but I, did get a chance to meet you, and you signed some stuff for us. So we really do appreciate
Great
all
guy.
the love and
Great
support.
guy.
Really cool. Endgame wise, so of course, Endgame is very easy to point out. It's the end of Marvel's historic movie run. You get for you guys. You get to choose one scene from that movie. What is your top scene?
Oh, hell no. I can't choose one scene.
can't
I'm
choose
like,
one
that
scene?
That
I
movie
can
was
choose
so
a
too amazing for one scene.
Can
but,
I?
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
No, go ahead.
but what I was gonna say about it is what made it for me, not just the fact that it was like wrapping up the 10 years we already saw, the fact that they made a movie with so many characters in it and it was decent. Like, that's not easy to do. Like, that movie,
quite impossible.
was it like 10 plus characters walking around in that movie, and that are important
10
characters.
plus. There's way more.
No,
than
I'm
10.
just saying, like, and these
Guardians
characters.
of the Galaxy is like 10 just
Yeah,
right
they're
there.
not even like sub level characters. They're all like main important characters, and they told such a beautiful story that Rap
Sorry, a
that
gnat
part
was
up.
flying around.
Look, she disagrees now.
I agree with that. I think Marvel proved to me that they could do that, have multiple characters on screen and make it matter, because that was one of the top things I absolutely loved about the first Avengers. Considering Endgame is technically the fourth Avenger movie, I love that one thing. Even if I watch Avengers today, I think like, damn, they had so many characters on screen that they didn't even have. Like, if you think about that movie, the only people who really had movies was Cap, Thor, and Iron Man. Everybody else would really.
I mean, the whole.
No, not Endgame, but Avengers the first one.
And not to mention,
wasn't the same
in
Hulk.
this 10 years,
What do you mean it wasn't the same Hulk? He was the same Hulk all the way
Yeah.
around. Mark Ruffalo in
Listen,
Incredible Hulk.
Edward Norton.
We
know
respect
what you
you.
did.
We know what you did.
Edward Norton was a really good Incredible Hulk. I wish he would have continued to do it.
He
But
never
Mark
worked out.
Mark
I'm
Ruffalo
sorry.
did a good job too.
To have what they were going that direction of, like, they're gonna blend the Hulks. I wouldn't want to see that Hulk that was in Incredible Hulk
Watered
to
down.
be that smart version with Edward Norton's voice. Just didn't seem right. Like, this one
being
actually
at the end, being smart and
this one
Yeah.
it was like, for Mark Ruffalo, he looked like some, like, he just looked like a professor that, like, just decided to go to the gym and get in shape. Like, did you guys, just side note, did you guys see that Kumal dude? The
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, they
I
showed
thought
him
that
all
was-
brolic,
Eternals?
yeah.
I thought that was Photoshop. I'm
No.
like, that was real.
we met this guy in person for Stuber this year.
And you didn't even know he had that underneath.
No,
it.
underneath it, he had this little jacket on, and underneath he was like freaking Master Roshi.
No,
You guys get the reference? Huh?
Sorry, I just saw some pictures of Sebastian Stan, and I didn't know he had that underneath there. I don't know what.
Oh, he does?
That's-
Oh, I didn't know
yeah.
he did.
It's
Cover of a
on the
magazine
cover
now,
of
you're
the,
gonna
Men's-
see, yeah.
Men's Health magazine.
Men's fitness
Now,
or something. Yeah.
now the next person you get to see do that.
Oh, let's
Get
go
your
back
weak
to
ass
your
down.
top scenes from your Endgame.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, but wait, another thing from this, well, I guess you could say this decade too, is these movies made me care about Captain America, which is a character so going back to childhood. I always thought Captain America sucked, and the Incredible Hulk. I thought that those two characters sucked. These movies made me sit in the theater, especially at the end of Endgame, cheering for Captain America to beat Thanos. So
I mean, shout out to Chris Evans. You did your damn thing. I might see you in March. I'm not sure yet. Boston's not that far. Just thinking about it.
yeah.
But yeah, so I agree. These actors that they chose did a great job with each role that they were given. It's
Favorite
hard.
scene?
Again, it's hard to choose a favorite scene, just like you
Yeah,
said.
one scene, I can't choose.
but the
I
one
guess
that-
choosing one, yeah. Okay.
If I'm choosing one, wait, did you chose
Did
one?
I? Did
No,
I?
he
No,
didn't.
you,
He's
no,
just
you
saying
go.
why he
Do you
liked
want
the
me to
movie.
go?
We'll
go if we got
She's got one. Let's go. Let's go.
They're not ready.
We not.
All right, so I'm gonna say that I love that Ronan opened the movie, like, because that's my boy, Hawkeye. Power to you. But I loved his whole Ronan thing, but that's not a scene. That's just a bonus that I'm gonna give you. But my top scene, obviously, is when the freaking hammer flew. I mean, and it was Captain America that grabbed it, and we was just like, okay, sir, because it take you all the way back to, like, the other movie when he was trying to lift it, and Thor was just like, nah, don't. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think in my lifetime have I ever been. I don't know how you guys, because we all saw it separately.
Oh,
I don't know how
get that.
your audience was around you, but I remember that scene because I would say that's also my favorite scene from there.
My audience was like, oh!
Yes! A dude next to me grabbed me. He was like, yeah! Like, it was just like, I don't know who you are, but, like, I get the energy that you're. It was just like this culminate moment, but, like, all around that whole scene, not just like him catching it, but from the moment, like, Thanos. I've watched this movie a gazillion times now. Thank you, Disney Plus. And I take it all the way back to Thor fighting against Thanos, and all the way to the point where he loses the hammer and it gets picked up and it flies over to him, to the scene where he's actually fighting him, because every little detail that's there, from the point where he throws the shield past him and goes into the air and then throws the hammer at it, just from Avengers 1 when Thor hit the hammer on his shield.
Yeah.
What?
He also
Like,
just,
that's
Cindy also
amazing.
just
Like,
made me think of mine
ah.
now, which I can tell.
Come on.
Mine is in that same end scene. It's literally when Iron Man is trying to get the glove away from Thanos. And then Thanos is like, I am inevitable. And he tries to do the snap and
Oh, yeah.
realizes
And you
he
just heard
doesn't
the
have the
clink.
gems.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I am Iron Man. Because in that moment when he's doing that, I literally took me back in time to the first movie when he's at the press conference and they're like, "Do you want to tell? Don't go out there and tell everybody you're Iron Man." And he goes out and he's like,
Also,
"I am Iron Man."
He
I'm
made a
like,
decision at that moment there, the same way he did in the beginning, which kicked off the cinematic universe, and he ended it with the same quote. Just take my money.
Let's hear Eric's.
Well, I wanted to bounce off too. When you said the whole Captain America scene, he did all that, and then Thanos kind of like, is that it?
Yeah.
I was like, oh crap, he got him. And then
He just broke his shield. I'm like,
that it?
oh.
Can I give you another point of that movie that gave me chills?
Yes.
When Cap is there and it's just like everything is lost and all you hear is Sam go on your left. That was beautiful.
Oh, just,
That
I
was
just
him.
died.
it's like a radio
I
on
just
your
di-
left.
And it was like,
Oh.
he was like,
at first it's
like, am I
muffled
hearing
too.
this? Because
First
he
it's
like,
It
he
sounded
might
like
have
a radio
yeah.
saying
First
it.
it's
Cap,
muffled.
can you
Cap,
read
can
me?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
I don't cry during movies,
And then like the
but
whole, the
Ugh.
things, like, yeah, it was just. Also, let's give a nod to Scarlet Witch, like giving Thanos the fucking business. Like, come on,
all I,
she was wonderful.
I don't
He's like,
even know who you
I
are.
don't even know. That became the meme of life. It's just like anything that's going on. I don't even know who you
Yeah.
are. Like,
And she just gave him the business after that. Like, come on.
Well,
yeah, she almost it was like
He had to rain down fire because he was scared to die.
literally had to shoot a
No,
freaking.
he literally is like, just shoot my own people.
Yeah.
Shoot everything.
Everything in sight.
So it's like if she was around, then this could have been over really quick.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have gotten one. Just imagine if he would have landed instead of landing on Thor's ship with the Asgardians. If he'd have landed on a ship with her, that would have been over. He would have got none of the gems. He would have just showed up, and the Black Order would have got crushed, and she would have just went.
The best tag team that would have been Captain Marvel and her. Those two would have just.
Oh, that's
demolished
a
him.
world ender right there.
Yeah,
Like
you
you,
demolished him.
hopefully one day we get to see Captain Marvel's darker side. If any comic fans out there know, she has a darker side that is kind of almost. She's just very dangerous. That's the only way I can describe that. But yeah, definitely. In game, definitely at the list.
Oh, I didn't
sure.
say my moment.
What was your moment?
Well, I'm gonna just say that movie. It was just nice to see them tie up just stuff like in the back that you just saw for 10 years. Them going back and just seeing when they were given the scepter, and then you just saw what's happening in the back. Oh, he's the bad guy, and just Cap fighting himself and all that. But for me, it was just seeing Loki taking the Tesseract, just disappearing.
Yeah,
Watching TV show, man.
Yes.
I knew it that you were alive. I knew it.
When they said they were
knew it.
making the show, I was just like, where
Even
did
when
he
the
go?
movie ended, I was like, wait, so we're not gonna go back because Loki he took the stuff and he left.
Oh,
I'm like-
he's just
Done,
jumping
yeah.
from
So I'm
planet to
guessing
planet.
that
I
the
can't wait to see what they
I'm
do
guessing
with
the
that.
TV show may pick up from that point
Yeah,
to
they-
show us
they
where,
say it
makes
where
sense.
he went.
He's just
and
gonna be
everything.
jumping from planet to planet. It's just.
But it's amazing too because you know within his show that they're going to have him run into people, including probably his dad and like other people that he's seen, and it's amazing because like you're basically allowing a character to reset because he has none of the experience of anything after Avengers 1.
Yeah.
So it's like
Didn't
he didn't
Yeah,
change at all.
so
He
the
just
bad
like
guy who got caught and was like, oh, I got
Yeah.
away with the.
Yeah, exactly.
had
He
the
just
second
like-
Which
chance to
also
try to destroy
means
the world.
that he really did get choked to death.
That was
Infinity-
brutal. Yeah.
in
that was
Infinity
brutal.
He
War.
took that one for
though.
the team,
So if
man.
he's going back and he's going through time, doesn't that mean there's a Thanos out there?
That means
Listen.
everyone's just
yeah, that
kind of.
means, like
Different multiverses.
he can change things and
Listen.
like,
Thank you, Flash and Legends, for just breaking everything. Whatever you do, it could just be
The time jump
reversed.
thing is always a killer, unless it's Back to the Future, because apparently theirs makes sense.
Speaking of that, I hope that I live long enough to see these things cross over. And I mean,
DC and
DC and Marvel cross over, but we might even get to see like
Yeah,
Iron Man
Cap and
fighting
Superman.
buddy.
You will be
Iron
an
Man
old
fighting
man.
alongside of the Flash.
yeah, you got a
If
long way
I'm
to go.
if I'm an old man, if I'm like an 80-year-old old man, I would have a tear coming out my eye to live
One
long enough.
Sterling
You
K.
have
Brown
enough
tear.
You mean
for
we
the
can see
word.
Quicksilver as the Flash or Arrow versus Hawkeye?
Yeah, like that would be awesome. Like I would.
But now you know it's not going to be these actors, of course. Like, will you
No, it
guys
wouldn't
accept
be
that,
that.
though?
No,
Like,
would-
Jeremy Renner's
if
going to
it's-
get old.
If it's
so
done, right.
I'm alright already. I told you already. Where I'm.
Yeah, if it's done right, I would still be okay with it.
So wait, you're done. So you're saying
I finished with Endgame. Other than the fact that they're gonna have the Hawkeye. I'm gonna watch that, and then
You're
obviously
gonna watch
the
Falcon?
Winter Soldier, and that's it. That's all
They'll,
I'm
they'll
signed up
get
for.
you.
You
They're
gotta
like a
watch Loki,
horror
too.
movie.
When
at
they
this
Oh,
point.
yeah,
when they
obviously.
announced
Sorry,
Michael B's
sorry.
back
Got
in
you.
Black
No,
Panther
that's
2,
it.
she
Those
back.
three. But once they're done, it's like I don't
But they're not
What
gonna
do I
be
need to
done.
But
That's what I'm
we
saying.
know-
How do you know that? You just said if they change them and they go because they're gonna get old. So
But
I
they'll
heard
still get you.
Killmonger's in Black Panther 2.
I believe it because it's the Marvel universe. Who dies?
He in the
Listen,
what if?
listen,
he
yeah.
a cartoon in the what if.
Loki goes back and sets up a team, and he's like, "Oh, you wanna work
Can
with
we
me?"
just say
That would
how
be great.
badass he is, and the
That
fact
would
that
be
he's
great.
only killed himself? Like he didn't get killed by a hero. It was just like, yeah, no. I mean, Black Panther probably could have killed him, but like he
Nah.
didn't. So
But no, I don't agree with that only because you just never know what they're gonna do next, and then if they use an actor or actress that you really like, they got you.
Well, at this
Bring
point,
you
at
right
this
back.
point in
Spider-Man that's
time-
holding on to it though, because they could easily just do anything.
Because they'll do Incredible
everyone's
Squirrel.
connected with Spider-Man.
Because they'll do
still.
Incredible Squirrel Girl, and it'll be like the lead actor is the Mina guy you like.
But
there
that-
you go.
Oh,
and then they'll
he's
bring
in
in.
that Disney
Listen,
camp.
okay,
He's in
listen.
that Disney camp. I'm just
Right?
saying.
I forget his last name. What's
Or be like,
Mina
oh, we
Masad?
got
Mina
Nova.
Masad.
Mina
Nova takes his
Masad.
helmet off, and it's Max, and it's like,
Yeah,
wait,
see?
when did he get
And
into
then they-
acting?
and
It's
then
like,
and then they got you right back in.
she's like, damn it.
It's like
I gotta
wrestling.
support him.
Like they-
Said what I said.
It's on video now. Now we have actual footage to say like, listen,
But you
there's
show
no
up in
way.
the Marvel universe, meaning I got you. I mean,
I actually can't wait to see the next Guardians with Thor. Oh,
Yeah.
that-
Oh,
yeah,
I mean,
you know what?
That's
he
holding
works
that-
for
that-
Disney,
that
so don't.
actually, yeah.
See, you can't go. Disney already
But
got
that's
us.
what
I
I'm
am the
saying is-
captain.
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. If it's people that I'm already invested in, yeah, but they wrapped it up. So if they try to take these characters and go, hey, somebody else is gonna play it, and you're like, I'm good. I had my 10 years already. That's what I'm saying.
I got you. So, what is your second movie of the year?
Well, for me, it's probably not one that you guys are gonna agree on, but Booksmart.
I'm gonna
add the cricket music.
yeah, I
like-
was gonna say like at this moment, like when I do the editing, this is gonna get some credits. Like this is
Hey, you
cricket.
like what you
cricket.
like.
For me, I'm a big indie guy. Booksmart is literally a story about two women who didn't party and stuff through high school, and they studied
Wait,
to make
we're
sure
all
they
just
go.
gonna look at him.
Yeah,
Wait, what was
and
the
they-
name of the movie again?
Booksmart.
I didn't see it. I can't.
But I'm telling you,
I know what you're talking
the
about,
premise
yeah.
anyway, just in case. But academic overachievers Amy and Molly thought keeping their noses to the grind gave them a leg up on their high school peers, only for them to find out that the same jocks
Oh, wait.
and
Like
people who
I'm sorry.
only
Was-
for the jocks and people that they thought weren't gonna go to college are going to all the same colleges. So they try to relive all their glory days from high school in one night.
So
by
basically,
going to
what
a
Ronnie's
party.
trying to do is
Hey,
relive
don't
these
cut me
movies
off,
from the
but
'80s.
No, but anyway, but anyway, they decide to go to a big party, and so they can relive all the things that they should have done in 4 years in one night. And,
So it's basically Can't Hardly Wait and Superbad rolled into one movie.
no, it's a different.
You're
it's
telling me it's not Superbad and Can't Hardly Wait? Because they literally go to a party. Two of the characters hook up at the party that weren't really cool with each other at the same time. Come on now.
But that's not the same premise. This is a complete different premise. That I
Oh,
just talked
it
about.
feels
I'm
different.
saying, of course, it's
Listen,
in the
they
same
were
wheelhouse.
Booksmart.
Yeah,
There.
just-
It's the same wheelhouse of those movies.
Oh, so
but
you're
it's
saying
not
New,
the
like
same
New Hope
premise.
and Force Awakens ain't
But
the
it-
same
but
thing?
it's
All
not-
right, cool.
But it's not
Eh.
the same premise.
I get
Okay,
what
what's
you're
your
saying.
next movie?
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Second
shooting
movie
people
of
down.
the year for me. I'm gonna go ahead and say I
Well,
know it
wait,
hasn't.
before you say it, that didn't make you cry and have tears in your
See,
beard.
that's the thing. It makes me. It actually has to move me, and it has to like
That's
get
not
to
a
me.
bad thing, man. That
No,
gets
I
you,
know
man.
that. I'm just making
This is
fun of him.
I think this movie was. There's something I recently saw, so it recently got onto my list. Just Mercy. All I can say is you guys are
And
watching.
that's
Obviously,
that's your top, like
one of my top movies of the
favorites?
year. I'm telling you, because when you see this movie, the one thing I realized, Just Mercy is with Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx and your favorite person, Brie Larson.
Edit that
And
out.
edit it out. And it's, if you don't know the case, it's a very important case that happened in the South with Jamie Foxx's character being on death row. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but
Yeah,
it
did
comes
it come
out
out yet?
on it comes out on Christmas.
Yeah.
By the time you see this, hopefully you
Oh,
got a
yeah,
chance to
okay,
go and see it.
okay.
Or if you're watching in January, I think it comes out like January 10th and everywhere, and then
Yeah, something like
single
that.
release, like a small release on the Christmas. It's just so relevant, and it's also made me realize something about myself, which I love films that do that. I think not to shit on Booksmart, but like I think those are those coming of age stories that you like, those simple tales of like people going from one area of their life to another. This movie, for me personally, I was looking at it because
these are two totally different movies.
Oh, two totally different movies. One's based on a real,
I'm like,
based on a real
that's
story.
Like about race and like Booksmart is a teeny bopper.
This one just made me realize that I didn't know as much about the law that I thought I did, and I was like, oh well, I need to educate myself because I could easily just being right and just having evidence of being right is not enough,
even though it should be.
I mean, yeah, that's absolutely true, but it's not. So, again, I think that movie was definitely one of my top ones. Your second top of the year for 2019?
It's not in any particular order.
No, not in particular order.
If it was in order, this movie right here is my top. And it's Aladdin. Just thought about that.
Aladdin.
I watched that I don't know how many times this year, and I went into this movie scared to death because it's like, how can you recreate something like that on screen in real life? Yeah. But they did it, and I mean, like, I literally, once they got to the whole new world, I cried in the theater. Like, I kid you not, I cried in the theater.
No, I'm just.
It just happened, and I didn't expect that because my daughters were looking over, and they were like, "Are you crying? Like, don't look at me." Yes, I am.
Don't touch me.
I'm a tough mom. But that was a great, like, they got it down pat.
Definitely left the theater feeling dumb because I remember I was like, "Oh, Will Smith looks stupid as the genie." I went into that movie like, this is gonna be a 4 out of 10. Left out of there singing with my daughter like.
Yeah, remember when they like, oh, he looks stupid as Blue. Man, that man made the genie.
I'm like,
good.
Yeah, he put his own.
He needed that thing. He needed that. That was a.
And I mean, like, I was like, I went into this movie so mad because I was like, that's not my Aladdin. Like, you know how people are with movies. This was one of my favorite movies as a kid, but it literally changed my whole perspective on everything.
I
Disney
only had
that.
2 flaws in that movie that I didn't like, and it was the villain was the guy that played Jafar.
People like that guy.
I like Jafar.
I thought he was okay. I thought he could have been better. And 2, why was Gilbert Gottfried not the voice of the parrot? That was that was such a missed opportunity to me.
I agree with that. They didn't let him really talk.
I think it's because the way they made it. Him being that giant bird that chased him at the end would have just been a little weird. Like, come here, guys, we're gonna get you.
Like, what? Even that was just weird. That still would have been funny.
Come here,
I thought that would have helped in. Like, think about Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman.
Make a version of that.
Yeah,
it will be on the YouTube.
It will be a mashup from that movie.
What's the thing that makes people like Brock Lesnar?
Well, we're gonna keep talking over this.
I think you lost audio.
But people who do like Brock Lesnar, I'm like, it's Paul Heyman. Paul, when he is in the ring, I most look forward to Paul Heyman. So I look at the same thing like Jafar.
He was just using as an example for them.
Yeah, because I look at the same thing with Jafar. Iago is what enhanced Jafar for me in the cartoon.
I agree.
In the cartoon. So in the movie, I thought the actor was a little lame.
I was also sad that they didn't let him call him Prince Abubu. I was waiting for that. Like, that was the best freaking joke. And they didn't do it.
It's like a missed opportunity.
I think, just to go on that, just talking about Aladdin for a second, I think that the reason that, I mean, definitely they could have had Gilbert Gottfried, but I think one of the reasons why having Jafar's story be pushed forward, like, we actually learned that he was also a thief, like, having the fact that they had that extra little layer to him and why they were trying to focus on him and why he was there, it was an extra thing that wasn't in the cartoon. So it was like, since they pushed that forward, the guy who was like the famous comedian voice had to kind of come back. Like, it was a bird that still talked smack, but it wasn't.
It's kind of they kind of Mushu in the other movie. They're not gonna have that at all.
They're doing a phoenix bird.
So they're gonna have to make up for that.
They're doing another character. It's gonna be a bird.
He wasn't a strong villain to me. He wasn't a strong.
We don't know yet. That's
what they said. They weren't going there. Right? They were gonna try to go serious.
They're trying to go serious this time.
So I guess that's what they were doing with Aladdin. They were just trying to go serious with the Jafar. But
apparently like that. My only scene that I felt was like, oh, that movie. So piggybacking on Aladdin again for a second. One of my favorite scenes from that movie wasn't even something that necessarily happened for me, but it was because I remember me and Danielle were in Philly and we went to go see this movie at some random theater. I forget the name of it, but we were sitting there and I think I told you guys about this experience where there was a moment where Jasmine had a Speechless song. And it wasn't like, it was kind of, when I was watching it was kind of weird because she's walking and everyone's like frozen and
Yeah.
disappearing and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't know the words.
The
but
one
it's
thing
something
that
like
I saw when I was sitting in the theater that was like, oh, this is not for me,
Mhm.
is there was a little girl when she was like saying speechless sitting behind me that I saw, and she's like speechless, and I'm like, oh, well, they don't give a shit about me. Okay, all right, they care that I'm coming and watching it again. But it's not really like they're trying to take this and make the magic of what we loved about the animated one, and they're trying to make this that animated one, which I don't totally agree with, because just give them the damn animated one. It's not like it's a bad movie. Like, don't just make a new one and just go like, that's the new one for you guys. But it's like, the hope is that for us that, are nerds of this stuff, that we will still allow them to see other versions as opposed to say, this is my definitive one. I don't care about anything else. Like, that's why I'm okay. I know we've all talked about this before, about like having the superhero movies genres keep going, and seeing somebody else in the Batman suit and somebody else in the Spider-Man suit and so on and so forth, just because of the fact that I know that they hopefully they get a chance to see Tobey Maguire. We're gonna pass over Andrew Garfield. We're gonna.
And since you're bringing it up, I'm gonna keep repeating this so that people know it was me that keeps saying this. That one day we'll see Batman and characters like Batman as a woman, and not Batwoman, but Batman.
As long as
as a woman.
No, it's not me. It's only just
And the anger came up.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
No.
simmer down now.
No, it's
Simmer
not even
down
me.
now.
That's not it. The only thing I don't want to happen, I want what happened, going back to the Aladdin, what happened with the little girl, I want that to happen. I don't want it to be a box check. Like, I don't need it to be
But
like,
no, I'm
check
not talking
and
about
done.
it. But,
like,
but it's not a box check. It's more like taking what people think is the norm and kicking that shit in the garbage and saying, well, you know what? A woman could be Batman.
Of course.
Just like we had Becky Lynch walking around talking about she's the man. So I feel like that's where that came
But then that
from
would
for
still
me.
be, for me, because they did Batwoman, it would be weird for her to walk around like I'm Batman.
Nah, I don't think it'd be weird.
It would, because
Because
now
they
it's like
have
Mulan.
No, but they have. That's what I'm saying is it's not. No, I'm just saying specifically for him. It's like Superman and Superwoman. That would be weird to do because you already have the two versions of that. If they didn't do that, then maybe it would be like, okay, I don't know. I hear what you're saying, but it's like the name dynamic would have to change there for me.
Nah, I
Because
don't
then it's
think
like,
so.
well, why are you Supergirl? If I'm
So
Batman,
so the guy's
and it's
gonna
like,
be super.
Yeah, so you're telling me like if a guy
how
turned
does
into
that-
Wonder,
okay,
if
so
a
how
guy
does
turned
that-
into
so
Wonder
how does
Woman.
that work for Becky
No,
Lynch,
listen,
then?
because it's just when you can say a man in general when you say women, like you know
Yeah,
what I mean,
it's a
like when you
general term,
like when you go to church and they go all amen, they talk about all men, so they calling us all men because we're woman, and man. But that's what I'm saying. So like, say in the future, let's keep going with this. What if Wonder Woman turned into a man? You want the man to still be like, hey, I'm Wonder Woman.
I'm Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
It's like, what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's kind
It's
of,
like, oh.
you have to
You got to
change
look
the
at it both
name.
ways.
like-
Yeah.
If the name wasn't already there, then she could go, you get what I'm
But
saying.
I get what you're
I'm
saying.
talking about breaking the mold of men. We're always at the forefront of everything.
Yeah, we get
But
that.
put in
feel
a
like-
woman as
As a
Batman.
woman, I understand that.
You're
I get what
kinda-
you're saying.
You're kind of.
I'm just hoping they don't do a Captain Marvel. Like,
Yeah, no, not
that
that,
whole, like,
no.
in your face.
No,
Look
not,
at it.
no, not that. I just mean like a normal. This is Batman. Let's do a whole alternative story where this person grew up and all these events
Oh,
happen,
yeah.
or similar, but it's just.
But that's what they're doing.
But
it's
with the
still-
but
Ghostbusters,
it's-
they're doing
but
that.
it's
Alternate
still-
universes are so easy
But
to
it's
do.
still Batman.
Like-
It's
But why
not
would it
like,
be
you know.
Batman?
There's an alternate universe series that you can actually pick up at your local comic book store, like we're at right now.
Like Fortress of
of
Solitude.
Solitude in Newark. You could actually go pick up a book that is a really good series, but it's a alternate dimension where Superman landed in Gotham and became Batman. There's that whole series. That's an
Sounds
amazing
awesome.
story.
Yeah.
It's a one shot.
What I'm saying is I understand exactly what you're saying. It's like if they did the Joker as a female, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, in the
Yeah.
movies, it can still be the Joker. It's not already defined as man and woman in the name. That's
Correct.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
I'm
breaks
saying.
That's sort of what I
That's
mean,
what
but
I'm
I'm saying you
saying.
don't
Like
have
that-
to.
like
you
that-
don't
the
have
women
to
be a
change
woman.
the
the women
name.
Like,
might
you know
not
what I
like that
mean?
being called Batman. Why do I have to be called Bat? Why do I have to be called that? You want to be a woman, It just
But
depends
it's
how
already
everyone looks
a
at it.
Batwoman, so
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like
And then
a
the suit is
Batgirl or
weird
Bat-
too,
you know.
because now like the suit, they have to wear like a sports bra to kind of like make
How's
things
it
look
weird?
a certain way.
How's
'Cause-
it
'cause look at the
how's
we-
it weird? It's just a norm.
It's not that it's weird. No, it's I
No,
get exactly what you're saying.
I hear what you're saying. You can definitely do Batman as a
Yeah.
woman, but you can't call her
That's
Batman.
definitely
I mean,
something.
like,
That's
for
definitely
me,
How
a
about
topic.
Bat person?
I feel like we're definitely gonna take this topic to the streets.
Sorry. Did we ever make it to your next movie?
No, we didn't. Aladdin was
We're still-
yours.
Aladdin
And then your second favorite movie of
Well,
2019.
I still wanted to talk about Aladdin.
Okay.
Just that movie, just that whole parade coming into it, that was just great. Just Will Smith, he's like, come on, bro, give it to us, give it to us. And then inside with the whole jams thing, I was dying. We got jams. We got different types of jams.
All different kinds. Can we
Yeah.
move on from the jams?
We got jams. But for me, I have John Wick 3.
Yes.
Just seeing Keanu Reeves just continue, and then for you, Halle Berry.
Halle-
Come on.
Halle
What-
Berry. Oh,
her going
Lord
at it
Jesus,
with the
Halle
two
Berry.
dogs, that was just non-stop action. I was just sitting there like I
How
couldn't
about
blink.
that? How
I'm
about
like,
that
just,
intro
oh my
alone? The
God.
intro where he's fighting the dude with the book.
Yeah.
Killed the dude with the book.
Oh my
I'm like, you
Yeah.
stole a pencil, now a book. I'm like,
And
what else?
And then he put the book back
Oh,
on
the-
the shelf after he killed him.
I loved it. My favorite scene from that one was the whole like that fight with the knives, where the guy's on the ground and just like throwing the knives over. It's like, die already. It's just like,
I also love that when he has fights, they kick his ass sometimes.
Yes!
It's like he's not like.
Finally, it's a movie where the good guy gets beat up. Like,
No,
yes, he's
And
doing
he
it.
lost what? He lost a finger in this?
Yes,
one?
yes.
He lost a
Finger
finger.
on-
literally,
Yeah.
he had to chop it off himself, which was like,
Talking about fingers, we were watching Power and we saw Zach only has four fingers. Did you?
Yeah.
you
Oh, really?
Remember we sent you that text and you were like, you didn't know.
Oh, yeah,
Four
I didn't even
fingers.
notice
I never knew
that.
that.
that's
Holy
crazy.
cow.
I saw that and I was sitting there like,
What are we looking
get
for
it.
He's
here?
staring at the picture. He's
Yeah,
like,
like-
oh, it must be a race thing. Let me,
Yeah, I was like, black and Blasian? Is that what they're trying to say? Blasian?
oh yeah, because we sent her the picture when he was in there with what's her name?
Trini.
Yeah, and I was
Trini.
like,
Were you like they were dating?
He was like,
Yeah, I
he was
made up
holding her, and
something.
then it was like you could just see it. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
no, I forgot John.
Sorry,
my
jumping
favorite.
off.
I forgot that was 2019.
That's
John
funny.
Wick.
So many movies this year,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow,
Did
like
we not talk about Shazam? Sorry.
Shazam.
Well, we're
Yeah.
getting it.
Wait, was that this year?
That was
Was
this
it?
year.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yes.
Shazam?
That was a great. Yeah,
that was
Shazam
April.
was.
That was April this
one
year.
of my,
In Chicago.
That was one
Yes.
of my top movies, and that was a surprise because I hated the trailer, and I was like, "What the?" Because I didn't know anything about the
Yeah.
the comic.
No, we'll be honest. When we first saw that, we didn't know it was like a little kid. We were looking at that first trailer. When we saw, we were like,
It looked goofy
whoa,
and stupid.
this is
Yeah.
what this is
But
about.
it
I'm like,
was
yeah, that was
fantastic.
good.
It was a
Like
good movie.
Zachary Levi
Shazam.
made me totally believe he was that little kid. Like he's.
They picked a good guy for the
amazing.
role. He
And then Adam Brody became like the best friend. So many moments.
Megan Good, too.
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
was like, dude,
Yeah, I forgot. Yes.
Oh, yeah, at the
You're
end
like,
of
right-
She
you got the
I was like-
13 Reasons Why guy too. That was good.
I was like,
To me-
dude, I don't even know how to pee in this thing.
I think the movie was.
And you had shit down. What was it?
Oh yeah, I came up with that. Shit damn.
Shazam.
I have to
That
meet.
was
I
not
have
at
to
the
meet, and
beginning.
he is in everything.
Shit,
That
man.
guy is.
He's got a good
tops,
age.
man. I have
We
to meet
saw
him.
him. So.
We
At
did
Comic-Con.
at
That was
Comic-Con.
man. We gotta get back to those moments. What were you about
Absolutely.
to say though?
I,
about
I think the one thing I really enjoyed about the movie was the fact that they really stayed true to the comics in there. Like, they really were like, oh, you know what? Like, we're going to have, him be like this kid in this big Superman body, which is like, it made it fun, not dark and serious like most of the
Yes.
DC movies.
Yes.
It was like a lot of fun, and you're sitting there, you're like, man, like that was my review of the movie. This is the most Marvel DC movie I've ever seen. Like, it just feels like I'm
Yeah.
going to there and having a lot of fun.
Told you they're turning things around.
Okay, don't
Turning
even.
them around.
I don't think they're turning things.
I definitely
I
like
have
that.
to go with Ronnie there because, like, with Aquaman, it was like, okay, you guys are getting better.
Yeah,
And then Shazam was like,
Aquaman was-
whoa, you guys.
Shazam was like a 2019
They're doing good.
movie. Aquaman was like a 2001 movie. It felt like
It still was.
2001?
They were getting
Nah.
better from things that
Yeah,
we,
it was
just,
good.
we haven't
From
seen.
what they
Like, come
made
on.
previously,
They're making big
Aquaman is a
Man
vast
of Steel is still a
No,
good
I
movie.
enjoyed
Man
Aquaman.
of Steel is good. Still
No,
good.
let's
I
bring it up.
disagree.
Wait,
Batman
what?
versus
I disagree.
Batman versus Superman,
No.
Aquaman. Aquaman's
Justice
a
League.
way better
And
movie.
Justice
Oh,
League
Chris.
too.
We don't even.
Yeah,
talk-
and
did
Justice
Justice League
League.
happen? I don't even remember
Yeah,
that happening.
see?
Oh,
Remember
it
the
happened.
cartoon?
Yeah, the cartoon. Yeah, I don't
It's
remember
also
the
a
live
funny
action.
coincidence that I was like, Aquaman was the only thing I liked about
Justice League.
and then we got an Aquaman movie, so I was like,
Well,
oh,
it's Jason
thanks.
Momoa.
Jason
Jason
Momoa.
Momoa is
Yeah.
gonna get his own movie.
But that's the key thing is I hope that they do it with the Wonder Woman 84. The key thing is it seems like the characters, when they're having fun being who they are, then it makes for a better
But that's
performance.
what, for me, it feels like that's what a comic book is as well. It's like when you're reading it, you're chuckling at the little stupid stuff that they're
Yeah.
saying. So
You
it's
guys
like when
definitely
you
know
take
that.
that stuff away and try to make it super dramatic and like everybody's Batman, it it's not gonna work.
That's why I thought Thor worked very well. They got comedy in that.
Oh,
It's
Thor
hilarious.
Ragnarok changed Thor
Come on, that
forever.
changed the game of
Like, if they
of
would have
that.
left it at Thor Dark World, I don't think we would. I don't think Infinity War or Endgame would have been what it was, because then we would have never got that funny fat Thor that we got if Taika was
Another great moment, Fat Thor.
Fat Thor.
Or
Just,
even- or, I like your beard.
he's like, you look
I
like
like your
melted
hair.
ice cream. Like, it was just like, yo, can we just go with the fact that Rocket Raccoon is like the shadiest person
Yes.
in there?
Yeah.
He's the great
In
shade.
the Marvel universe.
In the Marvel
right
universe,
now?
he just has great shade and great
That's
timing.
running down.
Yeah, he's just like so cool.
He hasn't got his butt
Oh,
kicked
wait.
enough yet.
We didn't finish another favorite moment in that was I am Groot. He's like, I am Steve.
I'm Steve Rogers.
He had I am Steve.
That was Infinity Wars,
Yeah,
like,
I know,
but still
but
going
that
up
was
there.
going
And,
back.
and,
that
and,
was
and just Ant-Man
funny
coming
moment.
back in, and that's America's ass too. Just
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Sir, as far as I'm concerned,
and then he
that's
fought
a
him, and then he
Thank
fought
you,
himself.
Ant-Man, for saving everybody's ass. Okay.
Paul Rudd, shout
Thank
out. We
you,
met you at
Super
Comic.
Rat,
Now,
We
for
met you
saving
at
everyone's
Comic-Con.
ass.
Now, technically, it was
We know
Michael
it was
Douglas's
Michael Douglas,
Ant-Man
yes.
that saved everybody.
Michael Douglas, but Ant-Man, he had to make it happen.
Shout out to Paul Rudd. We met you at New York Comic Con. Nicest
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
awesome,
Shout out,
man.
I didn't get to meet you, but still shout out to you.
I saw you walk past me in New York. Shout
Yeah,
out
you
to
walked past me in New York and you didn't stop for me, but you're still a cool dude.
I think he was tired that
He
day.
was tired. Yeah, he had just came.
That was literally the weekend of Avengers. Come on,
Yeah.
man. The press they were doing was like, here.
He had coffee. He's just like, hey guys. That
It
was
was,
it.
it was raining that day too, yeah. So.
That was a bad day. But I think with Chris Evans, not Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, when we tried to
He
meet
is a
him.
Pokemon.
He's a
Let me tell you
Pokemon.
guys, okay?
Pokemon.
We are always this close. Like, you see how part-time Eric is this close to me? He's literally here, and I can't ever get a picture or something signed because something happens. It's like you throw your Pokemon ball, and you're like, I got you, and it just goes, and you're like, damn it, I didn't get you.
He
Next
escapes.
time.
It like rolls off his shoulder.
Yeah.
He's like, not today, Cindy, not today.
Yes, and he's the sweetest guy ever, but he's just a Pokemon that we need to. And Keanu Reeves, he's also a freaking Pokemon.
Yeah, he's super
2020,
nice.
you two are my top of who I'm
Seth,
getting.
and Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen for me.
Oh, Seth Rogen. If you guys want to check out that story, when we did Tribeca, please definitely check out that episode
Yes.
of Tribeca.
That's
just-
Ronnie's.
That's
person
Ronnie's
right there.
moment of the year. My funny thing, I don't know if I mentioned in that episode, but I'm sorry. I'll apologize in advance to Seth Rogen if I ever meet him. But we were sitting right behind him.
Oh, when I was trying to
at
tell
the boys.
you that Seth Rogen was sitting in front of us, he didn't believe me.
I didn't believe. I was like,
yeah.
that's just some little Jewish guy. That's
And
literally
I
what I
was
said.
like-
Like, that's just
And I
some
was
little
like,
Jewish guy right there.
what the
Like,
hell do you think he is? I'm like, he is.
I was like,
a
oh
Jewish guy.
yeah, he is. I was just like, and then I saw the curls, and then you did the laugh, and I was like, it's him.
You sure?
I was just
You
like,
sure it wasn't Will Ferrell?
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, exactly. That might have been the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and then they
wait,
put,
is Will Ferrell Jewish? I didn't-
Yeah, because he's got that really. Actually,
I don't know if he is.
I'm not sure. No.
We might
I don't
be
know.
stereotyping.
Yeah.
I'm just saying by the hair.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
like, wait a
Jewish.
second, he might
I'm
be.
saying by the curly
But I
hair.
remember they like right after you were like, that's not him, and then they put a spotlight and they were like, we're gonna have Seth Rogen come up
And he
here for a
came
minute,
right over by
and
us.
then he got up and went up and he's like, hey guys, and then he was like, it is Seth Rogen. I'm
And
like,
Ronnie's like,
yeah, I want to snap you. I'm like, it is Seth Rogen.
Do you guys have any more top movies, or was that it for you?
Oh, we are doing 3 altogether. So
Three,
that
was
was
that-
2
we
for
did 2?
everybody.
Did we?
Yeah, you did a lot. Yeah, you
He
did
just did
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Oh, okay, I
And
got
you did
one
John
more.
Wick. You got one more?
She's got more. I got
Got one more?
Come on.
Wait, do I got? Yeah, I got one more. I got what was my last one? Oh, my last one, which we also got to meet this guy at the Colbert Show, and it's a celebrity I love, Kevin Smith, gave us Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which is a
Reboot?
movie I didn't even know that I wanted but needed, but it's also like kind of an Avengers style endgame for his universe, which is awesome. It had a bunch of cameos, which also I actually got to go to a double feature and see Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back and then Reboot, which reminded me that even the first Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back had a shit ton of cameos from different celebrities, including Will Ferrell.
Hell yeah.
Who played the wildlife marshal?
Yeah. I mean, he's connected to a lot of people. Wait, was it a heart attack this year?
Was that this year? I actually don't
I'm
remember.
not
remember.
sure if it was this year, but it happened.
Yeah,
He
it was.
bounced back.
He bounced back and gave us, and now he's on the road show.
First he had a heart attack and then he bounced back. That's just a little Sean.
Was that a rap?
Yeah,
Was that
that's
a
Big Sean. Big Sean has a song called Bounce Back. So that was for those rapper fans out there. That was my little parody.
You can tell he's an old dad because he's like, for those rapper fans out there, you love that rap music.
For the fans that love the hippity hop, you know.
The hippity hop.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, it's so hard to. There were a few that I chose for end of year, but I have to say,
Little Women.
I'm a huge fan. You shut your mouth. Little Women actually wasn't bad. I watched that. I watched that. That wasn't a bad movie. But no, I'm gonna actually say a movie that I've watched now recently, or at least about 3 times. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino's
okay,
ninth or 10th movie? 9th?
10? Is it the 9th?
Yeah,
Might be the 9th.
But yeah, his movie. I think I just love that movie for the fact that it's in such a nostalgic time. Rick Dalton and like Leonardo
Rick Rhymes.
No, Rick Dalton.
I'm like,
that was
I
Leonardo
just love
DiCaprio's
that
character.
movie so much, just because like, and also Brad Pitt in that movie is just hilarious. So the fact that he's just like walking around kicking ass, like that scene. If you guys have seen the movie where he's like takes the girl up to the Manson Ranch and he goes and he's looking for the guy.
That's right.
Just like, oh, he's taking a nap right now, and it's like, I'm gonna go see him.
That was such a tense-driven scene that I thought was gonna end a different way, but it didn't.
Yeah, it turned out the guy was really taking a nap. Spoilers, but yeah,
It was no spoilers now.
Okay,
man.
Once Upon a Time.
At this point,
it's been out for a while.
like if it's
Once
already
Upon a
been spoiled for
Time.
you. But what is your third movie of the year?
I'm gonna go with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I knew you were gonna say that movie because I was thinking in my head. I was like, I wonder if she's gonna remember that. That was this year.
I like that part-time Eric here is database as well, so he knows all the things that I like. But yes, that's the movie that I chose. I went to the movie and saw it about 4 times. And
Wow,
then
really?
And I also owned it on DVD. And
You got the
Blu-ray,
book?
So
Are they making a sequel?
The Pops.
yes.
Oh, they-
They actually, I'm pretty sure
They leaked
they
it.
are before it happens because the guy spoiled it. You remember he said it in the story and like he's like, we're not making a movie yet. And then they looked at the camera and then he deleted it right away after. And I'm like, oh my god, you guys effed up. You had a Tom Holland moment.
The internet. Oh,
Wait,
God.
they did make some pops. They made
Yes,
the
I had those
Scarecrow
too.
and they made
Yep.
another character. I don't
The,
remember.
the gluttony.
Jangly Man and
Harold.
Harold the Scarecrow. Yeah.
I freaking
I like that
movie.
What,
Sorry,
what is it? What was it about that movie that you love so much? I liked it too.
I
but,
love
like,
that
I know
it was
you
in a
really.
different time period, first and foremost. And I love that the kids were, like, you know what I mean? It's strictly about the kids. It wasn't about the parents. You didn't really get too much parent interaction. And those kids, like, held that movie down. Like, this year and the year before, starting with Stranger Things, it's like kids have been showing, hey, we can do this. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like a teenage movie. Like, it was kind of like Goosebumps, but it wasn't.
That's what I was just about. It made me feel like my childhood. Like
Yeah.
it was just watching like old school. Like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Monster
Like the old
Squad.
Nickelodeon shows.
Oh, the original Monster Squad, not the terrible reboot that they made recently.
I'm sorry, Ronnie. I was born in '85.
You never saw the Monster Squad?
Shots
No.
fired.
You gotta
Wait, no, is that a real movie?
Yeah, that's a real movie.
Oh, I never
Monster
heard of
Squad.
that. What is it?
You never heard of that one? It's like a movie that the only way I can sum it up is I believe the original horror icon villains like Dracula, Wolfman, they all come to life and they're trying to.
With Tom Cruise, which is what they failed
Yeah,
terribly. They were trying to reboot it and do it with
Oh.
So they're all like in the same movie, and then these
You guys
kids
should've-
come together
sorry.
and they're
movies.
gonna.
You guys should have kept Luke Evans as Dracula. I'm just gonna say that would have been a great. He could have been number 1 because he was
Yeah.
the monster, and he was way better than whatever Tom Cruise did. No offense.
I never even saw that
Shout
movie
out
because
to
you
Luke
guys told me.
Evans.
It
We
was,
are young.
yeah, you guys told me it
You
wasn't.
should have
good.
been in Hobbs and Shaw too.
Mummy? Really? You didn't go with us to the?
No, you didn't go.
No, I
It
had
was
to work
just,
that
you
day.
know.
But you guys told me it wasn't good, so I've never seen it.
You should
I
watch
have
it.
You
still-
should watch
yeah.
it.
It's like a movie. It's like a guilty pleasure movie. It's not like it's a
It's a
horrible
whole movie.
It's just a bad movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's just like
It's like I watch it when it's on. It's like I
You
find
won't change
myself
the
like
channel,
I won't
yeah.
change the channel because it's like it's Tom Cruise running around killing the monster, like But it's,
Okay.
at the same time, it's just like it's not something that I'll be like, oh, you know what I need to watch today.
it's a Fast and the Furious movie. Just turn your brain off and just watch explosions and
Yeah.
stuff. like
Okay,
that. That's
so
what
it's
it
like
is.
like
Hobbs
give
and
it a
Shaw.
chance. But it's like because we had such a great The Mummy movie, it wasn't anything like that. Like I would have enjoyed Brendan Fraser. Like it was like those.
What did you like better, Mummy or Hobbs and Shaw?
Are you serious right now?
So-
We didn't get to the worst movies yet. That's a different.
Put a pin in that one.
We're gonna put a pin in it. Let's see. So wait, yours was the third movie
Scary
was Scary
Stories.
Stories, and Part Time Eric. What's yours?
I'm gonna say the movie Glass.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, I forgot about
Hourglass.
Do not forget about James McAvoy.
I'm just gonna say yes,
I
James
I like the way it
McAvoy.
ended,
You
though.
deserve an Oscar. I mean, him playing
I
one of
didn't
those
like the
roles.
ending.
Yeah.
Same.
But it was
I
good.
can agree that I didn't want James to die in the end, and also,
Spoilers.
it's been out for
Acting like it comes out next year or
If
something.
you have
Like the
not
movie's.
seen it, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's like the Crisis on Infinite Earth now. It's been such, like, you know.
But you know what? Even if you haven't seen it already, it's always still better to experience it. You don't know how
That's
the
true.
person died and
Everyone-
stuff, so,
yeah.
so still see it.
But just that
He was
movie.
so many characters. How many?
After Unbreakable and just put in those three. Samuel L. Jackson. Like,
Yes,
I love
yeah.
him, man. Just
Yeah, those two together, and then Bruce Willis on the same screen, reprising the role of, you know what I mean? Like
I
that
was annoyed that he died too. I didn't like.
yeah.
Everyone.
And they choked him in the water.
Yeah, I was
Come
like, what
on.
is going on right now?
It's like, wait, did he
Yeah,
just get
gave
like
the whole-
They, and that was
killed in
Sorry.
a puddle?
and that was his weakness, right?
now
Water.
now
Yeah,
you
they
told
used
how
water.
he died. I mean, like you just
Oh.
kind of
You should
want
still.
spoilers.
like,
You should
he
still
pushed his head
watch
down
it.
in a
You
puddle.
should still watch
It's your
it.
fault that you didn't see it. It's a good movie. No.
Thanos doesn't die.
Oh man, I think that this year had a lot of great movies. So what those are you guys? Do you have any honorable mentions of
Yeah.
2019?
I want to go back to that kind of like scary movies. Like Happy Death Day 2 was great.
That was-
Oh yeah.
I love
I've
those
never seen either
scary
one of
movies.
those.
You never seen
You
those?
talking to
I've never.
yell at him, guys.
Yeah.
Not at
Why?
him.
I like the first one better than the second, but I did like the
Because I
second.
was
But
so
I'll-
scared that they were gonna change who the main person was.
Yeah,
by the way they were
where they
doing
started the trailer,
Yeah.
they started with the Asian guy,
you don't
know
and then
what
they ran right back into the main girl, and
Yeah,
it was like,
like-
whoa.
I would like to just point out how Markell is in the dark right now. He's like,
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know the concept. It's like they took
Groundhog's Day is a horror movie?
Yeah.
Groundhog's Day mixed with.
No,
if,
no.
if you take
It
a
was
mixing
good.
bowl and you put Groundhog's Day, Scream,
Deja vu.
Deja Vu, Scream, put that in, you know.
all right, another.
Wait, let me taste
honorable-
that. Doesn't
Honorable
taste
Another
that.
It's
honorable
good.
mention is The Fanatic with Top.
Oh my god, that movie was just. I didn't like as much when I
Oh
found
my
out his
God.
character was on the spectrum, because I thought that it was gonna be just this normal guy who, who was a nerdy fanatic. That kind of changed it for me. I still like the movie, but that changed that part of it.
I'm just
for me.
gonna say Devin Sawa was a great asshole. You
Yeah.
know that's a great.
If John Travolta,
And John
man,
Travolta
Honestly,
knocked
that
that out of
his,
the park.
character did make me think that if I met someone like Seth Rogen, who I really liked, and
Would
I
you
was,
act
and
that
I
way?
was there, and he was like, fucking come around here, I probably would have punched him. Otherwise, the fuck do you
No,
think you're
but,
talking to
but
like
you
that?
know better best with rappers. You wouldn't follow him to the back where he was
No,
talking
no,
with his
no,
wife and
correct.
kids
No,
and be
no,
like,
no,
I
no.
was next in line. Like, just
No,
You can kind of talk
that's-
when you saw
that's
him in the
different.
movie. Though, you can kind of tell something was wrong
Yeah.
with John Travolta's character. Like, you just wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
You can tell there was something a
He
little
was
off.
I've also met graphers who are that way, so he's more different because he had more, it was more of a disconnect. But
Yeah.
at the same time,
I kind of felt bad.
I'm
I
sorry,
felt bad
I
for him.
just wanna-
exactly, it was a flip flop.
I felt bad for him.
No, for me it was a flip flop. It was this thing of I felt bad for Devin Sawa for a minute, and I'm like, damn, he
Yeah.
really fucking with this guy. But then Devin Sawa was a dick, and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying?
Don't be
Like
a
I was.
dick, look-
That's what I liked about that movie. It was a roller coaster of I couldn't tell which character I felt more for.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because they both had different dynamics of
You
what
said
was
you were
wrong
gonna
and
sign
why
it,
stuff
and
was
I'm here, and you're
Yeah,
gonna sign
yeah,
it.
like,
You
yeah.
said
No, but John
Yeah, it was
Travolta's
like,
luck
whoa.
was just crazy. This guy, he killed the maid by accident, got in the house by accident, tied him up. Like, this guy
That-
did
well,
stuff
that-
that people
When
wish
he-
they can do.
Wait, I
When
just
he
want to
was
know: is that
sitting
app
there-
real to find people's address? Like that?
I
is-
don't know. I'm
Nah,
not.
that's a
pretty
movie,
scary.
man.
I don't know. I can't say no because I don't know.
I wish not to know.
I'm pretty sure the graphic.
yeah, exactly. Yes.
I doubt
Just
that.
like
Also-
Interbridge there, and it's
Yeah.
like, because even. Sorry.
You literally
Sorry.
just
Also- But I think
Yeah, I'm
if
sorry.
you're in a
It's okay.
celebrity neighborhood, though, I'm pretty sure the police are there, like,
You think so, huh?
I would think so.
No, but think about it. Like, with Taylor Swift and all that stuff, people get into their houses all the time. So it's not like the police are there.
Oh, you
in the
could
snap
come into
or
the
whatever.
house.
People
Don't
get
know if
stalked.
you're gonna leave.
Yeah. People get
Don't know
stalked.
if
So
you
there
can-
No,
are.
but he literally
there
got
are
in the house,
people-
fell asleep on his couch. His alarm
Yeah.
went off.
Why
next
he was
to
sitting
him.
right next
Didn't
to
No, I
him?
mean, that
Didn't
was
he
the
put a
craziest
blanket
thing.
on him at
yeah,
one point?
That's what, like,
Like-
when he was doing that, I was like, dude. this
Didn't
is
he
the
brush his
guy
teeth with
alone.
his toothbrush?
Yeah,
Like, he was
but,
doing a lot of
started to
like,
get pretty serious. I think that my recent experience, we meet a lot of celebrities for like press events and things we go to and conventions, and let me just put a disclaimer on that. We're not sitting there saying they're like we mingle with the stars all the time. Like no, it's just in the line
In
of
the
work that
job,
we
yeah,
do,
yeah.
we're in the same places while they're working. I also want to say, most recently experience I had with somebody. I told you guys, John Hamm. Like I was just like
It
so.
was that type of moment where it was
Toy
kind
Story.
of.
It just
What
crushed
happened?
me.
Why you said John Hamm and I'm thinking about the pig from Toy Story?
You're just thinking of ham.
Yes.
You're hungry. He's like, I need some.
Maybe I'm a little hungry, but I
No,
know
there's no
you're
damn
talking-
little like toy pig
You're
was
talking
like, no.
You're talking about the guy from Baby Driver.
Yes.
The gunman guy.
The
Okay.
gunman, yes.
Or Mad Men, where he
Mad
smokes,
Men,
smokes
yes.
a lot of cigarettes and cheats on his wife.
So I was in.
Cut in and put a picture there next.
Yeah, put a picture up, and it's like I was out somewhere waiting for someone else completely, and he just happened to show up, and I was like, oh hey, John Hamm, like good to see you, man. Like, and then it was kind of like a moment where he looked like he was in a rush or something, so I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to bother him, but then it's like he came back out and had like time, so I was like, hey John, do you mind if I get a picture with you? I love your movies. Like I just saw you in this movie that I can't mention that I signed an NDA for that you're in, and he's like, huh? No, I'm late, man. I ain't got time for that. And just like walked into
Oh, wow.
the wrong door, came out of the wrong door, and then went into the right door. And I'm like, well, shit, if you had the time to go and fuck up over here, you could have.
I'm
did
just
a
gonna cue
selfie
the
with
Titanic
me.
music here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just
You
like.
can actually add that
It's
in
like,
there.
it's like an added
Wait,
in.
wait, wait. Give us 5 seconds of silence. This is where you added in.
John, why'd you do this to me? But yeah, that was my, like, most times when we meet people, we don't have, like, really, like, would you say in 2019, did you have a experience with a celebrity that wasn't good?
You got another one. Didn't you just wait for someone twice? What's the lady's name?
Charlize Theron.
Oh, Charlize Theron.
I'm gonna give her a pass. Cause
It was a rainy day.
it was a rainy day, so I'm gonna give her a pass. Like, Charlize, I love your movies. Just when you see me in person, like, you know, I'd love to, you know, get you on the show and interview with this other guy here.
With this other guy.
But you know, just be nicer to people.
Oh, I
That's all.
have a good memory, which is Helen Bonham Carter. I got to meet her.
Oh, you're a lucky bastard.
And it was so cool. Like, I didn't get to get a picture with her, unfortunately. But, you know, as everyone knows, I collect the little Funko figures. Right before she signed it, she looked at it, and she's like, oh, this is one of those little bubblehead fellas, you know, with her accent. She's like, oh, I love these things. And then she was like, where should I sign it? And she was asking me where she wanted me to sign it. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, you're Helena. Like, I kind of geeked out, and I'm like, oh, the top of the box, please. And she's like, the top, not the side? And she's like, playing with me, and I'm like, is this really happening?
That's how you
right
know
now?
you like someone.
Yeah.
You peek out right when they're coming.
Yeah,
Like,
like-
oh.
And
They're
then she-
here.
So then she signed the top, and then you know, then she left, and I was like, take care, and she was like, oh, cheers, and I was like, so yeah, that was awesome. That
Well,
was
we
the moment.
actually that's a good thing. So if you don't have a bad
So we're going
experience,
to good experience.
we can go to good experience. If you had like absolute best of 2019. You have that face like you have
the-
one.
you have
I have
the
a-
face.
No, I have a couple of them, but my most recent one was Brandon Routh.
Ah,
Yeah,
Superman.
Because he got to like I love him as Superman. I don't care anybody else says this man after Christopher Reeve.
Superman
That's-
returns.
And
Superman.
looks literally like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, and that was the greatest thing, like ever. I mean, like he can cut in and put in the picture of what I was looking like that day. I had on the eyeshadow that was the color of the Superman. It was just the greatest, and he signed the newspaper for the Superman movie, the Superman Returns movie.
Yeah, by
Yeah,
the
for
way,
you guys, this picture.
So,
can I just borrow that for a little bit?
maybe in 50 years, if my
Ah,
kids
okay.
decide to sell it to
Okay.
me. No,
$2,000.
never gonna see it.
I hope they never
$2,000.
sell it. Yeah. But yeah, that was the best.
Fan to
One of the
celebrity
best
moment.
fan moments. Yeah, I have a couple, so I'm gonna let Eric go.
He
and
seems
I'll-
super nice too.
No, he was.
I've never,
Oh,
got,
he
is.
I've
stood
never got to
for
meet him yet.
Everyone that was there, and it was just
He's Superman. What the, you know, I mean,
he's Clark in real life.
He's Clark.
Was me? For me,
CM Punk.
that was a good one. He was very nice. I have to say my boy Tom Hiddleston though.
I knew you were gonna say.
Oh,
that.
I forgot
was
about
waiting.
that. Yes.
I was waiting.
I gotta give you are probably one of the most nicest people I've ever met. Going outside every day after you play, signing for everybody. Nicest guy in the rain and the snow. You was out there at Comic-Con. You gave us time. You gave me another autograph too, man. Shout out to you, man. You're one of the best, man. Like, hands down, he just got higher on my list for me. Like,
Man, you
one of
just
my
got
favorite
me,
people.
You just got me excited. I have to do an honorable mention now for Kevin Smith again. We saw him at Colbert. Anywhere, I don't care. Even if I'm 7 rows back of people, I'm standing there with 100% confidence, and I'm still gonna meet Kevin Smith because the guy literally with a capital L, stops for everyone.
Yeah, he makes sure he goes back around like everybody good.
Yeah, he even does. Who does that? He goes back around. I got everybody.
You know who
Everybody
does
gets
that? Kristen
outside.
No, I was gonna say another person that does that, which it didn't happen today. You guys were there. Was Michael B. Jordan. He
Yes,
yeah.
He is
yes,
that guy.
he's that guy too.
Can I give one more? I don't want to jump
No,
over.
no.
But
Sure,
the
sure.
biggest fan interaction of this year, Spider-Man.
Oh, oh my God! I got the Tom Holland experience.
The Tom Holland experience.
Yes, literally.
And that's,
Ronnie, let's tell Amara we didn't take the day off.
Sorry, guys.
I remember that day well. I was in the break room at work.
Me too.
And I was making hot
I was
chocolate.
texting like, I hope
Like,
they don't get him.
yeah,
I hope they don't get him.
And then I got the video from one of you guys. I got the video, and I'm sitting in front of my computer, and I'm at work, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Let's hear it from both of your aspects.
Definitely
Tom
the
Holland,
best.
let's hear
Yeah,
it.
he fangirl like he is right now. Like he was.
I don't know
Literally,
what you're talking about.
I literally had to tell him, go, Markell, you can hear me in the video if you guys find
Even
it.
even in the video,
Like,
you hear him
calm
like,
down.
holy
Yeah.
He's like shaking. He's like, oh my gosh.
But that was before we even watched the movie or anything, and that's not the reason that movie was on my top list. But this guy has a heart of gold, like for my girls.
Yes.
Like we got missed because of graphers, as we like to say. I'm pretty sure you know what graphers are from
Yeah.
listening to the podcast. But they blocked my daughter, and she was so heartbroken, and I didn't know what to do because he went inside. Like, you know, he looked back when we called him, but he went inside, and like maybe 5 minutes later, after I was trying to deliberate with her, like, hey, do you want to walk around so I can try to make her feel better?
Yeah.
The person comes outside and goes, you two, with the kids, come on. And he's like, whoever's with me. So I brought Markell with me, and then another friend that I had with me. And we went in his dressing room, and he apologized for the people outside. And I'm like, this guy, like, is the sweetest person. Like, thank you so much, Tom Holland, for that. Like,
talk
you
about
are
a day
amazing.
to decide not to go with these guys to New York.
You would have messed it up for us, Ronnie.
You know what? I'm not gonna go.
I really
today.
sat there that one day. I was like, man, I missed one.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna go today. Oh, they not only got to meet Tom Holland, but they literally got to
We got to
spend
shoot
time with
We
him.
got yeah.
And then we got a chance to experience what viral feels like, because that
Oh, yeah.
video,
You guys were trending.
I was sitting there looking at my phone like, what the
And then
what's
we
happening?
also
Like,
got fake news. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Something else
yeah.
happened that day and they thought it was my daughter, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, it was the
it's not.
other girl that was recording. She was on the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
Getting,
there was
Oh my
somebody
gosh.
getting pushed.
So it was
that
two
was
different
getting
stories that
hot.
happened that same
By the
day.
time it got to the fourth person, I'm like, yeah,
So you
Samantha
guys be
kids
safe
got
out
kids,
there. If you
right?
ever try to go out there to meet someone, please be safe out there because it is no
Have
joke.
your shields
Yeah.
up, ready?
I had one more moment too. I wanted to say it was at a convention of Supernatural. I had to take over.
No, you go ahead. That's
you
your
can take it over.
moment. Go.
It was
Go
just
ahead.
great. Just meeting, just how they interact with. We were just standing there like ready for the pictures. Just seem to interact with the fans. They're playing soccer. They just
Yes.
waving. They just
Wow.
they're waving at you like, hey guys, and just they did the picture
Human
just the
being.
way we
Yeah,
wanted
and
it.
Cass is they're amazing. Like when we went through like the thing to get the autograph, and he goes, "Hey, Sam remembered us from the upfronts when he missed us." Like that was amazing. Like he
Oh,
knew
wow.
exactly where we were standing, what we were holding, and he was like, he wanted to sign the. I'm like, you came back
You
outside
won-
for us.
you
He
won
came
me
back
over as a
outside for us.
person, yeah.
That was a great
That's
moment too, when a
insane.
celebrity says they remember
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I'm gonna
You
go
like
with
that?
one that recently happened, and I think you're gonna know what I'm talking about. It happened very close to my house. Holly Berry, who I would love to personally meet, please come do the show, or just meet me. Forget about him.
You know what?
But
You know what's funny? I would love to like set this up one day where she was coming and don't even tell him.
what?
I wouldn't even tell him.
Oh my
We would just set
God.
this
I think he would disown you.
I think you might have a fucking heart attack in
Oh,
here.
no.
Yo, Cindy was a witness. So the experience that happened is.
Wait. Let's put a pin in his story. I called him in the morning. I'll tell you the beginning of this story, okay?
He was in New York,
And
right?
he
At
didn't
work.
answer right away. And then I'm in the supermarket and he calls back. And I'm like, what are you doing today? He's like, I gotta go to work. And I was like, what you telling me is you don't have anything to do because Holly Berry is going to be filming a movie right outside of your house. And yes, this is his reaction on the other side. I could hear it, but I couldn't
like, no, you playing. You
You know, like-
playing. Like,
Yeah.
it don't make no sense. Like, you playing. It's all like I
Low
think that.
battery.
Oh no, that's fine. It has 2 batteries in it, so it's only showing one of them.
Yeah.
So the oh god, when I got that call, I was just like, this is my chance. Cause backstory, I actually did try to go to another location. She was filming in town, like in Newark, where we're recording, and
He was speaking his head in like Halle Berry here.
Halle Berry, like
what's
it was like some gym or something that was in Newark that they were like completely closed off to. There, there wasn't no fan area or anything like that. So I'm just like, oh man, like she came to town, but I'll never get a chance to meet her.
Mhm.
And I was thinking like,
Because she went to Atlantic City right after that, so we
Yeah.
just thought it was over.
I was like,
and
well,
then
it's
when I
over
got
now.
that news, like that morning,
I think
I was
she
just
filmed-
outside.
I think she filmed that whole movie here in New Jersey.
Yes.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
She
that's the
rapped.
place. They went in Irvington.
Oh.
So yeah, and when I went outside, I'm like, why do they have all the streets closed? And luckily, one of my mom's neighbors just happened to know what was going on, what time, everything. And I'm like, okay. So I had to call my best friend here and just go and just make his day, like
that's
make
okay.
his world.
The thing is that wait, let me double check that.
Yeah,
I just want to make
heck,
sure.
man.
No,
Should
I think
stop
this one did.
Should
No,
I
no.
stop this?
You can stop for now. Yeah. Let me just check it. I believe the camera's
Yeah,
still
that's what I
on.
was pointing. Like it said, this time to
Time
say
out.
low battery. I was like, let me.
You talking about the laptop or
Yeah.
this?
Do you
I
have
think-
your cord?
No, I don't have my cord with me, but this is fine. Yeah, this is still recording. That's what I thought.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we just can't see it on the screen anymore. Okay. All right. What were you gonna start?
I
I'm
can't
sorry.
see, man.
Wait, you didn't stop it, did you?
I did.
Okay.
Alright, now we
Wow, we had a lot of good moments this year. Are we gonna get to
Yeah.
the bad stuff yet? or-
No, wait, we're gonna.
No, so-
wait, I have
Oh,
one
he's
more after
finishing
he's
up
finished.
So the
Keep
Halle
going, keep going.
to the Halle Berry story. So after I got the call that she was literally like on the block and like they're there, I see the like I remember driving out that day and I was going to like Walgreens or something, and I saw the trailers and we were thinking it was like up by like
The high school.
the high school, and I came back down and like I saw the trailers moving down and they were there and I'm like, okay, this is happening. And I'm standing there on set with Cindy and the kids, and we're just I didn't even see her. I didn't see her. It was one of those moments. You got a chance to do a moment where it's just like kind of like she's right there.
Yes, and
Like, that
that
was
the
the
best
chance
thing
for you
ever.
to- and
she
I was just
literally
like-
jumped out of the car, walked over, and stood literally maybe like right here in front of us, and he didn't see her at all. Like she was like,
She
was
got out
done
the
up, right,
car
with her
and it
hair
was just a
beat up.
done up, and it was the crazy thing because she was supposed to be dressed down for the movie, like kind of like
she
kind
was
of
though.
like
she
she.
had bloody pants. You
she-
just kind of went. You just saw like love around.
Wait, did she get out and there was that scene from what's that movie? She's All That.
For real, it was like time had slowed down, and I was just like, at that moment actually there was I guess what you could recall hyperventilating because I just couldn't.
He didn't breathe.
I couldn't breathe. My
I was
head
like,
started hurting. And I was just like, she was only feet away. And then the most magical moment of it all, she turned around to us
Wait.
and waved. And she was only feet away, and she was just like, hey. And I'm like, and it was funny because I had my phone, and I'm like shaking, and like the other people on set, we were literally on
On
set.
the
Like
set
we're
with
on the
He
set.
wanted to run over like I love you, and then her bodyguards would have had you in a headlock.
Oh, I think he needed oxygen.
Yeah, I needed oxygen before I went
He
anywhere.
literally wasn't breathing. Like I can attest to that.
It was
I
just
had
like-
to tell him, Markell, breathe. Like all the time.
She's right there. Like, and then the whole time we watched her film the scenes. Shout out to Halle Berry. This movie's gonna be awesome. This is her first directorial debut.
It's called
Oh,
Bruised.
wow.
Bruised. So we're looking forward to it. We aren't gonna be in it, but it's all good. I just wanted to be on set to see
That's amazing.
that she did it. So that was by far top-notch experience of the year. Thank you.
I mean,
very
if
much
we
for
get
that.
to,
That was-
we're privileged enough to do press whenever the movie comes
Yeah, I
out.
hope
You
that.
could
Come
tell,
back to
look, you could tell her that.
Holly, come back to me.
I have an honorable mention for that one too, because I know that he wants to mention it probably. But I got to meet my favorite one of my favorite Power Rangers a couple of months ago, and man, if I tell you I geeked out, like the 11-year-old or 12-year-old in me came out when I met this guy.
Yes.
Now,
And-
because of you right now, there's the Power Rangers theme song. Like, just cut on in my head. I'm like, go, go, Power
Yes.
Rangers.
No, not that
Like,
one.
I-
5, 4.
Yeah, the
Oh.
one from space.
Great.
But
Oh,
I
okay.
hope that you guys get to interview them next month, like what's supposed to happen.
Falcon?
But yes, Falcon. But they were the sweetest guys. They were funny. They were like off the record. Like they didn't really give a shit what they said because they're not like on contract anymore. So they gave us the real of the real. And then when we tried to get a picture with the not a picture, but he wanted to do autographs and all of that stuff, and we were like a couple of dollars short, like because we had paid for a shit ton of stuff.
Don't worry, I'll owe you $2.
Yeah, right. And the guy he gave us the autograph, and then he gave us free pictures, and then like you know what I mean, like he just went above and beyond to. So shout out to Christopher Kamen Lee and Justin Nemo. You guys are so freaking awesome.
I'm coming for you guys. Right? You're coming to the
You
show.
threw your bottle at me
I
too.
don't know
And
if I ever
Tommy.
watched that one. That was Power Rangers the
In
Space.
Space.
Okay,
Space.
now I'm gonna have to binge watch that one.
Come on,
how
that
many,
one
how
was-
many
that
seasons
was the
is
best
that?
one.
You like
That was literally
you like
the
Star
best one.
Wars. That one is literally like Star.
Okay.
That will.
I like Star Wars.
There's a
Star
funny.
Trek.
This is like solely sidebar, but very related to what you're saying. I remember. I don't know if I told you that before, but I had the Megazord that they had, the blue
Yeah.
ship, and I remember a kid. I wound up keeping that toy because a kid that was in my neighborhood. It was like probably 8 between 8 and 10. And there's a kid in my neighborhood who used to play with toys on when we all used to play outside and play with toys and stuff. I remember he had stole my Abomination toy, and I had that Power Rangers in Space toy that turned into the Zord. And it was so cool because like the legs would wrap around and then it turns into that like round ship and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was just so cool.
Oh.
I had that at one point, but it was because I stole it from a kid because he stole my toy. So yeah, just a nice Power Rangers in Space moment.
Could have got it signed next month, man.
I don't
Now,
have it anymore.
That's what I know. I
You
said
need a
you
time-
could
you need a
have.
time machine.
I had one more mention to it, and I think, and then we can move on.
Go
Wait,
for
no,
it.
no. I have one
Oh.
more after that.
Go for it.
A lot of good times.
I'll
between us.
say it to all you guys. WWE Access.
Oh my
God,
God,
yes. You know what?
That
That's
was
for all of us.
amazing,
I
yeah.
forgot about that. That was this year.
Amazing.
That
It
whole
was-
experience.
Yes.
Let me just say before we
Can
say
you
any more
explain
about
to
it.
Access?
WWE Access is basically
See, but-
like the mini Comic Con of WWE. It's like a mini Comic Con of WWE where they have all the superstars and they do all these interactive activities and stuff. But I had only bought a ticket for what, Friday? I think
Yes.
it happens Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
How many days did you
I,
have to go?
yeah, I bought a ticket for Friday only. Went to Friday and like now I know what a crackhead feels like. I left the first session and I went outside and I bought a ticket for the second session. And I'm like, I can't leave. This is awesome. Like it was so awesome.
You
Yeah,
meet
that was-
everybody.
We met like half
We
the
met
roster.
Shane McMahon. You didn't do that, but we met Shane McMahon. That was another. See, he opened
Oh,
up
that
a
was
can of worms.
another-
I'm sorry, guys, because I have a lot of moments for 2019.
No,
That's
but
what-
y'all
that's what
doing
this-
the wrap-up
that's what
show. We
this
got this.
episode is, so.
He opened
I'm
up
thinking
that can
about
of
it. I
worms.
had to. That was a
Shane
big
McMahon
moment.
was a huge one for me. I waited 20 years to meet that guy, and like,
It's been like 13
Yeah.
years.
I think I had ran out of money by then from buying all the tickets to get in, so I didn't have the money.
And she gave him a nice little gift. He was so nice.
and he
I
put it
recorded
in
the
his
moment.
breast pocket. It was just like he really cared. You know, he didn't
Can
hand
we
it
say
to a
how
camera.
big he is?
Yeah, that
He's
guy.
not a small dude.
No.
So when you say like, oh, Shane McMahon's wrestling with these guys, yo, when you meet him, you like, yeah, it makes sense when
He's
you
got that
can
little
fight
jacket,
another
but he's,
wrestler.
like,
That dude is
popping
big
out
like
of
a
it.
So
wrestler.
he's like his dad.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
jacked.
kinda
I'm like,
jacked up,
oh,
too.
okay.
Oh, and Stephanie McMahon. Holy crap, we met some McMahon.
Both of them in
Sorry,
1 year.
yeah.
I was gonna get to that. But come on, y'all met Finn too this year, multiple
No,
times.
we know
yo.
Finn is the top.
Yep.
That meeting.
That access
Oh my
was
God.
the worst because of him.
Access was the worst, but when me and Cindy met him at Madison Square Garden, was
Yeah.
that
That was the.
No, that was
last
awesome.
year.
But just bringing that up too for a second, he came up mad cool, like came up with his suitcase, gave his suitcase to the handler,
And came
and was
back,
looking
got
at the crowd of people, and then started down at the end and just came down. He got up to me and I was like, picture, and he was like, sure. Leaned over, I was like, yeah.
and then I let him sign my jacket, and he goes, "Thanks for the support, sister."
Yeah, I was like, yeah. He was mad. He was mad.
I'm just gonna say, this man shut down Access. Literally,
he literally did.
everyone knew he was there.
I think I might have teleported.
Yes, I was about to say, Ronnie had the funniest
Are we
moment.
being videotaped?
Yes.
He was literally over here.
Wait, they
He
can't
went
see it.
down, and then he's like,
Yeah.
I'm here.
You guys like,
I was like
Ronnie
this.
isn't here.
I was like this. Where's Ronnie? And he's like, I'm right here. I'm right here.
So Ronnie pulled a Batman. He's like, where is he?
Yes.
here.
No, because they were trying to close the line down. Everyone just Finn's gonna be right in, and it was just Ronnie was over there because me and Ronnie were looking. We can see the boards, and like, oh, Finn's right here. Whoop,
Wait,
here we are.
Can I give a little backstory? So one other thing in terms of Access that I thought was a really good experience that I got a chance to do, which was volunteer for Access, which was like a once in a lifetime chance. It was amazing. But I find it interesting that like that exact experience that could have been avoided with Finn Balor was something that me and a few other people said when we were in training, which was like, hey guys, like you shouldn't just do this flash on the screen. Like the way Access was made was like at a certain time the wrestler would get up from the table, disappear, and then another name would flash on the screen.
It was like
and you don't know who it is.
It was like every 2 hours.
2 hour
It was
sessions.
like they were changing out, but that part wasn't communicated to fans. It was just every 2 hours.
Correct.
They were gonna change out.
They were like, oh, fans are gonna love it. That's what they were saying in training. I'm like, no, that this is gonna cause riots. And that section, I remember where I was standing when Ronnie teleported.
They had the police the next day and all that because of that. Like, you can't do stupid stuff.
I had
not a
a
good
funny
idea.
moment with Shinsuke.
This is how they're running their shit, though. So
I got like.
Oh yeah, you were waiting in line for it. You
I
missed
was
it.
waiting in line for like an hour, and I got like a few people away, and then they changed the session. So the guy in front of me was like, "But Shinsuke, we've been waiting for an hour." And he looks at us and he goes. Then he went to leave. I was like, it was just funny
You should've
because
said,
you know
"I'm
his
sorry,
character
I
was like
didn't
that.
speak
I'm so sorry.
He was just like.
He was
And then
really
he
cool
left.
to me because he's one of my favorites still in WWE. Even though, you know, we have some mixed emotions right now about WWE and what they're doing. But, hey, we have AEW to watch real wrestling right now until WWE
And
gets
another
there.
one from Access. I got to meet not only Lacey Evans twice, but I got to meet her husband and her kid because I.
So, wait, is that the real kid?
Yeah, I follow them
On
on Instagram. So I had seen her kid and her husband before, but it's funny. I'm waiting in line. I forget what wrestler I was waiting for, but then the guy next to me, and I'm like, "Aren't you Lacey Evans?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "But you're Lacey Evans' husband. Can't you just go through?" Because he had the VIP thing. He's like, "Yeah, I could, but you know, we're gonna be here like all day, so I don't mind." So him and his daughter were waiting in line to see her.
That's smart.
That's cool.
Like in the regular line, and then when I got to Lacey Evans, she was in character when I got to her, and I was like, "Oh, I'm such a fan" or whatever. And she said, and I was like, "I met your husband and your little girl," and she was like doing the nasty thing, and she's like, "You know, my husband fed my daughter," and I was like, "Huh?" Like she had broke character. Like oh, that was like pretty.
Yeah, I think you
pretty
broke her,
funny.
and then she was nice to everybody.
Yeah.
I think our biggest moment was the Road Dogg, and like that.
Oh, the New Age Outlaw.
The New Age Outlaws was there, and he didn't believe me. Their name was on the board when we were in another line, and I was
So
like,
we were
dude.
waiting for Natty, and then we saw the names.
I was like, dude, I think the New Age Outlaws. He's like, nah, that's gotta be wrong. That's gotta be wrong. They not here.
I didn't know
I'm
how
like-
Access
I'm like,
worked. I thought
"Alright,
it was recent.
their name is there. We're gonna run through this.
Yeah,
and,
me too.
And
I didn't know
hustle
that
over there.
either.
And we went over and we were like one of the couple first people in line. And Lord, we got our belt signed. That was the biggest moment. We have our title belt signed, like almost complete. Like we just
Shout out
had
to the tag
Luke Harper.
title belt. I got.
I was gonna say seeing him before he like left. That was.
Is he officially gone?
Yes,
Yeah,
they did.
officially gone
They
now.
did. They announced him and Sin Cara the same day.
And that's awesome that we got to meet. What was the other guy? Luke Harper. And
Rowan.
Rowan.
Yeah.
Got to meet Rowan, and I told Rowan when I met him, I was like, I'd like to see something different. I'd like to see you fight for the title. And he was like, thanks a lot, brother.
They like bigged him up, and then he just disappeared after the draft. It's like he was whooping Roman Reigns.
he's back now. They have the weird cage
Stupid thing in the
He keeps
cage.
doing
What is
the
that?
cage thing.
I don't know.
It's like a Bray
But,
Wyatt
but at
knockoff
least, but I
again.
feel like at least he has screen time because
It
the
is.
guy didn't have screen time forever.
We had one more one. It was Alicia Fox, so we had to
Oh
meet
my
her.
god,
Yeah.
my picture.
We've been
was
fans
there.
for a
Retired.
decade for you.
I like
You changed it for him, man. He was
man.
good.
That was
Only
it.
one I missed.
Did she
I
leave?
didn't get to see Mickey
retired.
James.
Oh,
They
retired.
kinda,
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to see Mickey James.
So that means
at,
AEW.
Or there was a few people I missed. I did miss Mandy Rose, who I still want to meet one day.
Mine's, I know you guys won't agree with this because, wait, none of you guys went to this Ronda Rousey? None of you guys. There was a.
I like Ronda Rousey. I didn't get to go to the
I got a chance to go to the
thing.
VIP with her, and like the one thing, I just wanted my picture to be different, so I told her to not smile because I like her from UFC, and she didn't smile at all there. She was literally the same character as Tom Hardy from the Warrior movie. Like she just showed up, kicked ass, and went away. And I kind of like that as opposed to like
Take names.
Well,
Yeah,
also, there's a big difference between WWE and UFC. Where one is really real. Like, I mean, like, you know, like UFC, she was really hitting and punching and kicking people.
Oh, you
That's
mean no
true.
one told Brock Lesnar that then? Huh?
oh
Yeah, he didn't get the memo, and he said that, Brock, not me. Just-
Rock, you do what you gotta do, man. I have nothing to do with that.
And then Brock shows up and like,
He has the podcast T-shirt on. He's like, "Can we take the T-shirt off before he gets blood on it?" Just like, please. But yeah, it's just a lot of memories in 2019. It has been one of the best years. We're reached our second year of doing this show, and it's just like time has
Congratulations.
gone past. Like
I
it's
have
been
lost
amazing.
track of that already. Just become a norm.
We already have some things that are coming up in 2019 with all of us here, and we're just looking forward to it. As always, there's going to be some surprises that are going to occur.
Sorry.
Sorry, go for
Go
it.
ahead. You sure?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
One other one that
Little
we was
Mermaid.
on. Freaking Hugh Jackman.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, you didn't see him.
No,
but
is that the
Oh, we
Broadway
saw
show?
him in
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden.
How was that?
That was amazing. And then on top of that, he gave us a Wolverine moment, like in real life. Like
He
he
took
like,
out the drums. And
yeah, used the drumsticks as Wolverine. Like he was amazing. Like it was worth every single dollar. Shout out to Hugh Jackman, sweetest guy in the world.
He's another Pokemon.
Yeah. Hugh Jackman, get with Luke Evans. Y'all need to do something together. Y'all two.
Thinking of-
Now, him
Thinking
and
of-
Ryan Reynolds need to hurry up and do
Oh, the-
freaking Deadpool Wolverine together. You guys keep playing.
You know
Stop
who
playing with
could, you know, you just
You
made
know,
me
it's
think.
gonna
You know
happen.
who could I think would knock Wolverine out of the park if he wasn't so tall? Christian Bale. I think Christian Bale could play Wolverine
I like
really
how we
well
all went quiet.
if he wasn't
I'm
so tall.
processing it.
Like he's
I'm
a
trying to
phenomenal.
process it.
He's a phenomenal
phenomenal-
actor. So like I
Oh.
think, and
Are
then
you saying
he's
he
had
said
the
his
beard
butt?
and stuff before. Like he can transform the way he
Nah.
looks. I think I think he's too tall to play that role, but I think he could do that.
I think
I'm all good on that front.
I don't agree with the Christian Bale because I don't think he can. I just
Especially like an old man Rogan story. I mean, that's my story. I mean, old man Logan.
Nah, man, don't you ever touch Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan was made and it was called Logan. That is
I'm just
awesome.
saying, like I when you were saying that about Hugh Jackman, I was like, I could see
You know who
Christian
can replace
Bale.
Hugh Jackman? Hugh Jackman.
You better
That's
tell
the
him.
only
So
way.
you're
Wolverine.
So you're
Listen,
like Harrison
we
Ford
already
with
seen them make the
Indiana
young
Jones.
man.
You know who Indiana Jones is? Harrison Ford.
That's what I'm saying. You already seen they already made another one. They knew they couldn't make another Wolverine, so they made another Wolverine.
But we know,
I mean, like, come on.
but we know, not to get, but we know that at some point there's gonna be someone else who's
the
Wolverine.
girl, I think the daughter is what they're trying to run with.
Oh, the X-20.
They're gonna let her get older and actually, because that would be freaking beautiful too if that actress actually still was interested in it at the time.
That's what it feels like they're
Like,
trying to.
You think Fox and Disney got a contract with her? Like, we'll see you in 10 years. We have a movie set up for you. Go do your things. Go do those little projects.
Well,
we'll
that's
be
what
over
they're-
here.
that's
I mean,
what
they
she's
could
doing.
literally
She's doing
just
a lot of
do-
stuff. She's doing
they could
She got
continue
something with James
James
Vanderbilt right now.
McAvoy.
They could
See?
show they could even do a continuation of what happened from her from that moment
Yeah,
on going forward.
It should make a good show for sure. I think that'll work.
That would
One
be smart
final
if you
one.
did a-
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
No.
One final one I definitely wanted to bring up, which was something that I totally forgot about because there's so much stuff that happened this year, was we got a chance to go to the VMAs.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we went to the Video Music Awards. It came to Newark and actually happened. Like, we used to watch that as
Yeah.
kids, and I'm like, we were sitting there. And let me just share a moment, and I'm sorry I'm putting you on the
No, I
spot
want
here.
you to because it's already going to happen.
This moment that happened was just so hilarious because we got the tickets to go to it, the VIPs from Optimum Online. Shout out to them and Altis Mobile. It was pretty awesome. And they surprised us and they gave us something very special. These little blue holographic bands.
I was just looking at it yesterday.
And these bands made
Magical
you just
things?
feel like these magical entities. They were like unicorns on our wrist. Like, it was amazing. And the coolest thing about it was the fact that you could walk around the entire Prudential Center, which we've been to many times because it's been in Newark for how long? Like 15 years or so. And you could eat anything. Like, you could walk to any stand, show your wristband, and just take it. And just the moment of seeing you figure that out which is my favorite.
so was
movie.
it-
I literally went.
Oh,
What
So
was
can
that
I come
movie?
back and get this? And then the woman
Yes.
behind it. That's what your little
What
band
was the
says.
movie with Vince Vaughn? Remember where they go back, where they were trying to get a job at Google?
Mhm.
It was
the
was it like
internship,
that
I think.
internship? Remember that when they went to the food when he went to the food court and he was like,
You can get
it's
whatever
all
you
free.
want.
Get whatever you want. He was like, so I can take
And
as
they
many.
only
Yes, it was
Was it
literally
like that?
that.
That's exactly what it was.
Okay, so you telling me that I can come back as many times? You say you can come back as many times until we close.
As long as
And
you got that
I went
unicorn.
to every stand.
we had
And
everything.
ate everything. I had, even if it was just a bite to throw it away. Like, I don't even want this anymore. I did that, and I took things.
We apologize
Were
to
you-
third world
Were
countries.
you,
This was very
were you-
American.
when the show was going on? Were you still back with the food? Was
Yes.
like, oh yeah, there's a show going.
You
on.
missed them coming home with the goodie bags.
It was like it was funny because we were at the what was that the Mrs. Fields?
Yes,
one?
the cookie.
And we were with the guy. He's like, you can take that. She like, I want to take 2. Now make it 5. You know how many of those can I take? And I was just like,
Just give me that
what?
with the brownies.
Just give me that roll.
No,
Like,
just give me the whole.
I had to
Just
take
give-
it home
just
to
give
my
me-
kids.
just give me the
Is Mrs. Fields in the back?
We
I'll
got
take
the
her home.
hazelnut M&Ms because we never tried them. We were just trying.
you're like,
so
this
much
isn't.
stuff.
We had like
Ice
pizza.
cream was nasty. The Doritos ice cream. So I'm like, no, I don't want this. We had pizza. I mean, like everything. Chicken sandwich was good.
I need that band for every event I go to because I want that. Like,
Damn it! I don't want to bring up another moment, but you guys made me think of
What you
another
got?
one. I'm gonna make this my last one, but it was, and I told you this. So I'm on my way to work, and I write for Adventures in Poor Taste website, and they message me and they go, oh, there's a project in New York. If you're interested to go do an interview, the person they got, can't do it. So if you can make it, so I'm like, okay, but you got to commit to the project before we can tell you what it is. I'm like, thinking, all right, maybe it is something big. Okay, yeah, I can do it. Okay, I can do it. So I show up to this event, and it's for the Watchmen press junket. So I'm like, so they're like, okay, so yeah, you're gonna, so Regina King's gonna be here at this time, and then Jeremy Irons, and I'm sitting there like, okay, so, and I'm like overwhelmed in my head. I'm sitting there with my stuff, and then
trying to prepare.
and then Regina King walks in like, hi guys, and she's sitting there, and I'm like trying not to like just like piss my pants, and I'm just. And then we're doing the different press outlets are there, and we're doing what they're going around, and then they get to me with my question, and for like 10 seconds, I'm just sitting there like it's Regina King, like I'm sitting there.
It's Regina King.
Yeah, it's Regina. And then I asked my question, and I'm like, that was seeing her and Jeremy Irons in person, especially the rest of the cast, awesome and stuff. But when Jeremy Irons walked in, I was like, dude, you're Scar. That's what I wanted to say. I wanted.
Be prepared.
But I couldn't do that because we were supposed to be professional and we're here for watching.
You a podcast journalist, Ronnie? Go ahead.
Do you forget your questions when like someone big walks in?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you when it happened at the oddest moment for me. It didn't happen really with them. It happened when the creator of the Watchmen show and the Yaya, the guy that was Mantis and Aquaman,
Yeah.
those two walked in, and those are two people I would never thought I would even meet in my life. They walked in, and my questions for them were like, so when they got to me, I felt like I was like, I felt myself like nervous and stumbling around, like stuff with the with you movies, the TV stuff. Question? I felt like that's what I was thinking. Like
Stuff.
Listen, you're laughing. We experienced it with Bret Hart where you got him and you were just like, oh my god, I don't
I
know this.
everything right from my mind. I was just like,
I was like, say something.
He's like, you're Bret Hart. And you're like,
Oh, last moment from me. I'm sorry. I know. See, we keep having moments. I'm sorry, guys.
don't worry, the worst moments are coming.
Yeah, last moment for me was literally at Comic-Con when Ronnie gifted me the little pass, and I got to go in and meet Minnie Masad. Like, you guys heard how much I love Aladdin this year, and I watched it a billion times. To meet him,
you might want to smack me for this, but we got to meet him, and I didn't know who he was. Remember?
that's okay.
He
'cause
came out of.
oh, that was this year, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh,
'cause
yeah, Kelly, I think, yeah.
I kicked myself for that because
She
that
didn't
was
know.
at the time that I was like, that's not my Aladdin. And he was at places that I knew we could go see him. And I'm like, no. And then after I saw the movie, I was like, yeah, I didn't see that. And so being able to meet him at Comic-Con. That was the best. So thank you, Ronnie,
Oh,
for
that's
that.
awesome.
And then
That was
also
the greatest thing.
realizing the fact that he reached over to you, like it was
Yeah,
like.
and talked about the little doll because I had an Aladdin doll there, and I didn't make him sign it because I didn't have a pen or
Here you
anything.
go.
But Jesus Christ, yeah, he can. Put
I'd
it
like
in
to
there.
meet him again. I need him to sign an Aladdin pop.
Yeah, I need to meet him for those purposes as well. But it's, but like I'm happy to have a picture with him. Like that was, I geeked out.
What a
little
good
bit.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been an
phenomenal
amazing year, and
We got
2020
to
is gonna
we
be
did
awesome.
Tribeca Film Festival. The first year of applying, we got it approved.
know I ordered.
And that red carpet with some of the stars we saw, especially the first day we did it, my brain kept saying, "I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. How did I get here? How did I get here? I don't know. So they're gonna figure out we're frauds, but we're not frauds. Wait,
Yeah,
I'm like
actually,
struggling with my
You
brain.
got the credentials, man.
Yeah, I'm like, I got the credentials. I am a podcast journalist. No,
That
this is
reminds me
real.
of the story
Yes.
from Fall Out Boy when Patrick Num got announced for a Grammy, and he was sitting there around like Elton John and all these greats, and he's like, "We're not supposed to be here. Why are we here?"
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Literally,
like-
I was in the same boat there. I'm like,
Michael Douglas
we need to do better.
We were in a situation where Michael Douglas walked up to us, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here.
Listen,
Just-
you
Like,
deserve
I'm
to
like,
be
strong.
Michael J. Fox and all that stuff.
Ah,
Like,
Michael
that's amazing.
J.
I never
we
knew
were
that.
in the breath.
Yes,
Michael
your
J.
breath-
Now,
your breath to them.
my situation with Michael J. Fox didn't go well because mostly because I hesitated and was a little nervous.
That's
But-
That gets the
understandable.
best
But
of it.
still,
It's all good, man.
it was still like I got to see this man in person.
Yeah.
That normally I'm normally selfish. I'm normally not satisfied with just seeing the person in person. I want a picture. I want an autograph. But Michael J. Fox. Even the music from Back to the Future, I feel like was playing when he walked out. I was standing there like. I was just
See,
like.
I love that you're experiencing. You're still a fan. You're working, but your fan side is coming out more than.
Oh, yes.
And
Like-
and sometimes they love that because it's like I don't want to get asked the same question.
That's
Every
right.
you know how they go to Kelly, they go to GMA, they get asked the same. But when they see like
Now that we've
they
experienced
just sense
it,
that off
yeah.
you. It's like
I swear, like we experienced doing press. I'm like, I do this because it's a passion and we like it. But we've seen like for some other people, it's just a job. They're rehearsing cue cards and
Yeah.
oh, it's Tom Cruise, whatever.
You realize
Okay.
that is a testament to us doing this show, but also doing the red carpets and presses that we've never written anything down.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
write anything down.
Yeah, I
This
guess
is-
so. Now I know how Jay-Z or Lil Wayne feel. They said they don't write their own raps.
I don't write
Right.
my own raps. I just do it.
Yeah, like we just we go out there and feed off each other, and we just do the show.
I mean, like it or love it.
I mean, we go prepared. We
we
do
go
the
prepared.
research and stuff. We don't.
I just think it's easier that way to sort of improv off of one another. Same thing with our friends. Like it's just easy to do.
It's also
and
more
a lot of fun.
organic. It
It's
doesn't
organic.
sound like ha ha ha.
As you
so,
can see, we get off track a lot, but we try to get back.
We come back
Yeah.
around.
well, yeah. When one person, from you guys, seems Markell always takes the lead. You're a little nerd, but you jump in after
Yeah.
he gets everyone comfortable.
Well, I also do that as on purpose where the show's called Ronnie and Markell, but I always figure he goes first. It's Markell. And
I just
Ronnie.
talk. I talk.
Wow,
more.
wow,
I
wow.
talk.
Well, he's a
That's also-
talker. You
I
just
mean,
Oh yeah, that too.
you know that.
It's like you ask me one question, and like 2 hours later, you're like, "You never answered the question." And
Yeah.
like, what was the question again? Like, at some point, I just forget what the question was. I was just like, I was the morning of 1952. There was. That's why one of my favorite TV shows. Just a side note. One of my favorite TV shows is Blacklist, just because the character in there, Reddington. Anytime it was like a question asked to him or a moment where he showed up and even if he's about to kill somebody, he's like,
Yeah,
this
story,
reminds me of a
Ultron.
time in Zanzibar when I was with these
Like,
beautiful coconuts, and it's like,
What is it with these Ultrons and Thanos? We don't need the life
yeah,
story.
exactly. Just do it.
Just kill me already. I'd be like, just kill me already. I don't want to hear your damn
Absolutely.
story.
So one other category as we move on from this to another best part of 2019, and then we're definitely going to get to the worst. If you guys can name one top villain for 2019 in any movie that you saw or television,
Or television.
show. Number like Oscar for the best villain of the year 2019.
That's villain. Huh. That's a toughie.
Well, I have to just say Thanos, man. That you were the best villain in the best series, like best movie. Then you.
I dig it. I will join you and say Thanos. Thanos had
Josh Brolin, man, shout out. That was
Josh Brolin. He's
awesome.
thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it too. I'm
I'm still thinking too, but that one just right off the head. That one.
Thanos right off the cuff. while you guys wait,
Oh, I know. Mysterio too. Jake
I was gonna-
Gyllenhaal.
oh, yeah, I'll
Oh,
go
okay,
You
with
that's
were,
one.
that was
Yes.
awesome.
I think I'll go with
I'll
that
go
too.
with
Eric, what is Arrow is the show that is ending that you feel
For me, I know it slacked off the last few seasons, but that show started off DC on the right foot. It showed you can make a little
Definitely
Carol like
true.
Green Arrow. You can make people like him. He's like Batman, but he's not.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just copy Batman's storylines
And
and
it
put Green
was-
Arrow
Copy
in
my
there.
beard.
He also had me running around going, "You have failed
The
this."
city, yeah.
Shout out to Stephen the Mailman. He took that role. He ran with it. I'm a big fan of his. Deathstroke 2 got on it. Manu Bennett. Like, that was awesome seeing those two characters. But that show started off. Flash wouldn't be here without that show.
That's
with its
true.
early
No, I don't
legends.
think any of the shows actually.
I also
None of
feel
them.
bad
That
about
show
the Punisher
started
and all
it.
of that stuff ending.
Oh,
as
with
well.
Netflix. Wait, was
Yeah.
that
Was that this year?
God.
Jessica Jones and stuff.
Jessica
That was
Jones.
They like
Luke
X
Cage?
and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
yeah.
then Daredevil, too. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, that's
I-
Daredevil.
that was mind blowing. Like
Was
You
it
know, I
this year?
still got that to look
season
forward
whatever
to.
it is.
I never got
I
to
think it
finish
was
that,
last
so
season.
I still got that.
You
to
didn't
look
finish
forward
it?
to. No,
what, the last season of
the
Daredevil?
last season of Daredevil.
Yeah, you got to check
I've
it out.
finished Jessica Jones, which I was just mad at one thing that happened. I don't know if you guys saw
Nah,
that.
we never watched that one.
I think the only thing I would say that Manuel Bennett did, that I'm going to say, is he kind of pissed me off because now I can't watch another
There you go.
Deathstroke and see some, like, he was a good Deathstroke, so now I'm just like, damn.
Until they,
Like, now
until
I'm
they
watching.
do.
No, he's on Titans, that shitty show. I'm watching that show.
Yeah, they
and I'm-
added some guy I heard. Like, I'm like,
He's on it.
okay.
He's very preachy, and I'm like, I get that in the comics he does have some good dialogue, but like, he's not Manuel Bennett. Manuel Bennett seemed cool and like seemed dangerous, and it was like you just didn't know. It's like a moment where you're like, well, thank God we beat him, and then your mom's throat gets slit. Like, what just happened, Manuel? What
No,
are
he
you
put a
doing? Like,
katana in her
yeah,
back.
in her
like,
back.
whoa.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, holy crap. So it's like, yeah.
And he still didn't kill him. He locked him up in Argus. He didn't kill him after he killed your mom. All those people he
Yeah.
killed.
He's another great villain, man.
He's a great
Oh,
guy.
he's a
I
great
still got to
villain.
catch up with Arrow. I'm so behind on TV shows. I haven't seen Arrow since he stopped being Arrow to be with Felicity. That's the last season that I
That's
saw.
not that many seasons behind, because that's like, if you think about it, the only reason is because most of these shows do that half crap.
Okay.
So you go,
Yeah.
oh, I left
Right,
off
so
on
I
here, but
gotta-
you were still
so
in that
and
season.
then The Flash, I've only seen where they find out they have a daughter, and she fucked up the time thing. So that I gotta catch up with all that too.
I love Grant Gustin, and I want to see him in the movies,
Same.
but I kind of fell off from The Flash just because it
Really?
just
I
went
love the
it went
show.
into the realm of like
It's
time
like
travel, and
It's
I'm just
like
like
Legends of
I
Tomorrow.
get
It's
done
like
with
you're
it.
watching two of the same
I
shows.
definitely have a favorite season of The Flash, which is, did you see the season with DeVoe where he fights the
Yeah,
guy
the
that's in
mind
the
guy.
wheelchair?
Yeah.
Because that season, to me, they beat him by the inch of their hair on the last episode at the last few seconds of the.
And listen,
I was
and
like,
he got,
that is
and he
like,
got locked up. He can easily escape, but he's like, I'm gonna just sit here and just let.
yeah,
do it.
like I was like, man,
And it was great to
everything
see
they-
Goldberg was his cellmate next to him. I was like,
Yeah, that was
all right,
awesome.
Goldberg.
Like everything they did, everything failed. Like the whole season, everything they kept trying to do, they kept coming up with, everything kept failing. I was like,
if we
this
do
is so
this, and it's
good.
like, good, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
because
Let's
the
go.
guy just knew
That
what was
guy
happening
knew
next.
he knew their every move
Telekinesis, yeah.
before they could do it, and even when they were trying to think of other, and you had Cisco, you had the other dude, all of these smart guys putting their minds together, and none of that shit still didn't work.
You know,
That
it was one of my favorite villains too, as well. It was the reverse. That guy
Oh,
is
yeah.
awesome. He's one of the McAvoys. He plays a different character every season.
Yeah.
He plays a French guy, a British guy. He's the Reverse Flash.
Yeah, he
he's
was
a,
good.
he's
Yo,
Explorer.
They will find a way for him
bring
to
him
be
back.
in the show.
He's
in
a
Crisis.
favorite. He's a favorite.
Like, wow.
We met him
man.
too. He's awesome. He's a favorite. He was at AOL too in the early
And then I
days,
got
yeah.
one more, but I don't know if you guys have one.
In terms of television, wait, your question was television shows in
And
2019.
that you're gonna miss because
I'm
they're
gonna
either
miss.
they've either ended or they're
Is it
ending.
your
Chopping block.
Is it your
It's my Big Bang.
Yeah, I know you were gonna say
I was
that.
waiting for that.
You can go with Big Bang Theory. I gotta think of another
Yeah.
one.
Well, while he's talking, you can think. Go
Well,
ahead.
just for me, because
Use
like
this.
it was not only the fact that it ended, and I love that show from beginning to end. Like I feel like anyone who's a nerd in general needs to watch that show because it's just so good. The show. But the show
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
literally about two,
Oh, you didn't
was
like
it
it?
two,
No, I never seen it.
two
Never
Caltech, was it roommates who live across from this girl, and you know all these other nerdy things happen. But it was also the fact that shout out to my stepmom for watching my daughter So I could go to the Colbert show, and to meet these guys, I got to meet the cast right before I watched the night before
episode.
I got to watch the last episode. That
So you
was
got a
fucking
chance to say
surreal.
bye to them
Yeah.
In person. I got to
See,
meet
but-
Johnny Galecki and say, like, you know, congratulations, because like
Thank you.
like this is how nerdy I am about them. I knew about like their real lives in the show, because I knew that each of them, like I knew Kaylee Cuoco was doing another project, and Johnny Galecki was having a baby. So I got to tell these guys, like, good luck on the new project, congrats on the baby. Like I got to say all of that to them, and then watch the last episode. Probably was close to the only time I watched television, and we're almost gonna cry.
He was crying.
Almost gonna
Your
cry.
beard was wet with tears.
And I think I sent you guys.
You happy, my beard?
I was trying to give him a moment there.
And if you guys ever get to watch the show, like there's 12 seasons, and which
See, that's what scares me too. Is long I'm a comedy guy, so people are you should like that. I'm like,
well, no, I mean you don't have to.
Is it 30
I just
minutes?
think they're about
yeah,
30-minute
but it's
episodes.
just so much.
30-minute episodes, probably a little shorter if you had it on DVD, just because no commercials. or whatever.
DVD, I stream.
Or
I
Blu-ray.
got back
you
in the
know.
DVD. I just got a DVD player for Christmas. For early
Yeah.
Christmas.
You can buy DVDs for like $2-3.
Yeah,
I,
a little bit of money.
I
yeah.
literally, it's not exactly the same thing, but I felt that way with the Brandon Routh Superman, because I got to watch him be Superman one more time before he hangs up the
That
cape
is such a
forever,
heroic
and I'm like, I saw him.
Can you give that man
The
some
day
respect now?
before.
Yeah, like how dope
Can
is
you
that?
I
give
saw
that guy
him
some
the day
respect?
before, that same day that it aired that night, the same way that you did, and I'm just like, I get it. It's that
And
moment
then if
of,
you ever
I never
saw,
thought I was going
if
to
you
see
ever
that.
saw the TV show Friends, you know that
Yeah.
episode. Well, there's two moments of Friends that always have me at hello, and one is the first time Ross and Rachel get together,
Yeah.
which they watching the videotape, and she comes over and just
And
kisses
you're
him.
my lobster,
And then it's the
or
other
she's
one
my-
where they're like, where he's at home and he's like, she got on the plane, she didn't get on the plane,
Yeah.
and it's like, I didn't get on the plane.
Yeah.
This show has that moment for me because all 12 seasons, Sheldon always talked about
It's
winning.
tearing up.
Oh no, Sheldon
Someone get a
always.
napkin over here.
Sheldon always talked about winning the Nobel Prize. So it's like literally the last episode they get the phone call in the beginning, and then he hangs up the phone and like, what happened? Like, they got it. And like, what? What did he get? And like, they got the Nobel Prize. I'm like, yeah. That. Well, I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about
see it.
that moment. Like, it was just a surreal moment. But it's that show is dripping with pop culture. Like, I think they had like literally everybody. Princess Leia, Mark Hamill. Princess Leia, George, what's his name?
They had pretty much
Darth Vader.
everybody from Star Wars.
Anybody?
James Earl
No, I
Jones.
mean anybody who has something big to do with pop culture in general has been on that show. Like Bill Nye the Science Guy, like every.
Wow, that guy's cool.
Yeah,
man.
like
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. They had what's the dude in the wheelchair that passed away?
Stephen Hawking.
They even had Stephen
Wow.
Hawkins on there making jokes about being Stephen Hawkins. Like, I'm like, come on, this show is just. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss that show.
I'm trying to think of shows that's ending. I think.
Oh, another one's worth mentioning that are ending. I haven't even watched them just because I'm like, all right, I lost the Big Bang Theory. iZombie is another one that ended.
Oh yeah, you.
Oh, I watched the end of that. It didn't end well.
Preacher is another one.
That
If you ever
ended?
seen that ended. I haven't watched them just like the Chew comic book. All right, man.
You read the
You know what? I can't yet. Big Bang Theory was one. Give me some time. Like in 2020 I'll watch those and
Ultimately,
see
I will say that it's bittersweet, but I was just talking about it this morning with Danielle and trying to figure out how is the Supernatural going to end. Like I just don't know. I know it's going to end in 2020.
You make me cry.
My bad. It's just a matter of like
It's-
I
it's
feel
still
like
fine
I
to
just
go
got
with.
here when it was.
Oh, it has
it's
to end.
it's the end. Like I just like
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
caught all the way up and you're like, I want to watch
Yeah.
it live, and then it's
Right.
like it's ending.
you're at the
Oh,
end.
so
I was just
you-
like that's
So
it.
you got to the party late.
Yeah, I'm at the party and they're like, oh, we
You don't have the
accepted-
years of soaking in
Nope.
everything like everyone else does.
I mean, but you still, when you watch it, you feel it, and it just becomes a part. Like everything, there's a world. It's conversations you have. Like everything can be like, oh, I can make this reference to this, or like I literally just saw on the way here. I was getting batteries for one of the machines we have here, and I literally just saw a girl behind the counter, and she had a Winchester jacket, and I was just like.
You know, that's another
That's
thing.
it. I just looked at her. I was like,
that's another thing that always makes me watch shows that I'm not up on. Just because it annoys me personally when I don't know these
You're not with
references.
it.
Yeah, you know.
Because someone made because I remember when I wasn't watching Game of Thrones, people used to be at work like, winter is coming. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, I was at Walgreens like,
what are you talking about? It's January.
Yeah, like, what the fuck are you
Well, guess
talking
what?
about?
Ronnie doesn't know. Winter is coming.
And then somebody
It's like, I got it.
somebody made a supernatural reference once to me when I was at Walgreens, and I was like, I lied about watching it because they were like, oh, it's so good. What episode are you on? I'm like, oh, I'm on the one where they like the fire. They're like, oh, the one with the house burned down? Yeah, that one, yeah. I haven't watched it at all.
Oh man, I can't wait to.
There's so
go
much
back
that
to it.
happened, you can't be wrong.
Wasn't
Yeah, I'm just like,
the first
so why-
episode? Wasn't that the first episode with the house?
It's been like the one where Sam and Dean got killed, and it's like, oh yeah, but
Every
they
episode,
died.
like,
Usually,
Yeah,
you know what
somebody
I've been secretly watching. This is like funny if we do Comic Con next
Guilty
year.
pleasure.
You know what I've been secretly watching that I actually did like from Comic Con? Charmed. The second season is way better.
Oh, okay,
Like
'cause I
it's
was
way
gonna say that first
better.
season was kinda-
When they had me so I was like, yo, if they were selling cars that day, they convinced me so well at that round table. Like this new season, oh, it's so much better. I'm like, really? That's why I wanted to stay to watch the. I'm like, I've been watching that and comparing it to the first season. Yeah, this
Check
is
out the
way
interviews
better.
on YouTube.
Yeah, this is way better.
I agree with you. I haven't been watching it. That first episode did make me go, oh, this new show, Charmed. Like, even though it's the second season and there's a whole new team on it, yes, it definitely needed a complete uplift and like change
Has a
to
whole
give
feel-
them
new
something
feel to
to look at. Like, oh, we can watch and see all things that happen with witches. So it's like kind of a, they're in a response center where they're
Yeah.
going out and they're like trying to save these witches from these attacks that are happening. So it's
You
definitely
know,
a new series.
That Supernatural, Expanse, and a couple other shows that I'm gonna make sure that I watch in 2020.
Oh,
But you
Yeah.
have time to watch Supernatural now since it's ending, so it's not like
I still never seen Lost, and that's been over for years.
Oh, I always heard that was great too.
I've never
but
seen
I don't think it was. I saw some of it, and it just was like,
They just lost.
they got
the
off the island just to go back.
I could
to
just
the
imagine
island, and
just
it was
now.
like, nah.
When
You
you said
know
that on a
something
comment, all these comments just appeared. Like, she hates Lost. Son of a bitch.
One thing I've always wanted to watch was Prison Break too. I heard that was
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
I started it, but I never finished
watched
it.
the first season, that was it.
24 would keep us up.
Yeah, I
That's
keep
another
hearing
one
about
that
that,
people
though.
But
say
then
like,
they replaced him too with that other guy from Walking
That
Dead,
lasts,
and then right.
like for a season.
Legacy or whatever.
hopefully in 2020 they don't develop any shows that they cancel after
Oh.
the first season.
That was it
Cause that happened this
this
year,
year.
but
No, I wasn't talking. I was
because
in the show.
I just fucking hate that. I hate when I like it and then it's canceled. Well, don't fucking make it. Make sure before.
They have no control over
I
that.
know that
though.
they don't have a lot of, but as much as in your control as you can. Like if you feel like, all right, we're halfway through making this, I don't think we're gonna get. All right, then just shut it down.
Yeah.
Like don't fucking because for this year, yeah, Swamp Thing. I thought Swamp Thing first season was awesome.
You just made me remember another show that I liked that was like that. The Passage. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah, with
That
Mark
was
Russell.
really
Oh,
good.
that got canceled?
Based on the book.
Yeah.
Shit,
One
I didn't
season,
see
yeah.
it.
You can check out the first season because it's the last.
That's why
what's
he's
the
on
point?
Mixed-ish
He's
now
on
because
Mixed-ish
yeah.
now.
But see,
But that
what's
was
the
amazing.
see what's the point? Like when they cancel it, I don't even
He's
fucking.
actually
And they
really
left
good
on a
on that. Have you watched
cliffhanger.
Mixed
Like they left it like, oh my
Yeah.
god, what's gonna happen? Oh, it's canceled. Oh, you can't do that to me.
Like that's so annoying. And I wonder sometimes were the ratings really bad, or were the ratings because there's always some corporate exec, or were they just not to where they wanted them, so they
It's
canceled?
No,
a Vince
you want to
McMahon
know?
there,
You want
Vince
to?
Yeah,
You want to
right.
know what it is? They compare it to the other networks. That's what they do. If
Yeah.
there's a show that's
Yes.
there, they want you to be at least first or second. If you're like channel
But
2,
my-
4,
my-
5, that's what
my
they
thing
compare it
is-
to.
My thing is, in this generation, they shouldn't go by ratings anymore because a lot of people aren't home to watch stuff live. So how
stream.
can you know what I mean? Exactly.
So if they're looking like, all right, we need to draw in 10 million watchers, and let's say only 6 million will watch in Passage. Okay, pull it. Like, nah, come on, man, we're still watching.
I'm going to pull out my business degree here and go.
But sometimes
So
the best
it
shows
comes
are
down
ones
to a point
people
where the
don't watch.
ratings are all the shows are essentially about selling it to advertisers.
Oh, of
and if
course,
you
yeah.
can't do that, then that show gets cut. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Like it's really like you
But
go.
my thing is, they should find a different platform. Everything has as a streaming app. If it doesn't make it on primetime TV, make your little app and continue.
I mean,
Well, that's how they're doing it now. Is basically just saying instead of us, begging and pleading and getting on our knees for the advertisers, we're now going to beg and plead the audience for the money. It's like, hey, you really want this show? You love this show? You want more
look at
passage?
what's the name?
Pay a subscription fee monthly.
I am anticipating You season 2, which comes on right after Christmas, and that started on Lifetime, and then Lifetime said, And then Netflix said, and then Netflix said, oh, okay, we'll take that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what networks need to do when a good show gets canceled, like Channel 4 or which one 5. You see somebody else pick it up. Like it's a good show. Like what was it, Family Guy? They canceled that. People banned. They petitioned. They brought it back.
That's another
I can't
thing
believe
too. Is
that actually got canceled. Like
it's a hilarious show.
Canceled
The thing though with that is that very few networks would be willing to
give
do
the
that.
rights away.
To go, oh, let me give you this thing so you can take all the money and resources that you have and make that better.
So they'd rather let it die than to...
Yes, they deserve to die. They deserve to be
But you can just be like, all right, we'll give this to you, but we're still keeping 15%. Okay.
No, it ain't about no 15%. Look at the. We can't forget one of the big things that happened this year that the Marvel and Sony thing. They were arguing about money, and then Tom's like, I want to be Spider-Man. They're like, oh, let him be Spider-Man. Like
Tom Hardy's there, like, come on, we can do a movie together.
I mean, they're all making money. Like,
it's not enough. If you bought one island, you can't be the guy with one island. You need 3 islands. Like, come on, that's what you need.
Like crazy.
That's how the money works.
And then you gotta think about us, the fans. I know they don't give a shit. About the fans.
They do, but they don't. Just watching it.
The fans.
Just watching it
The
or buying
We
the
just want our eyes
merchandise.
on it, but it's like if you're not giving us what we need, man.
Oh, the
Take it away from
fans.
us.
Oh yeah, us.
The fans.
Oh, now
We
speaking
do care.
I'm gonna segue into this just because we're talking about fans, but let's talk about wrestling now. Any best
and worst
worst of the year for wrestling? And I mean AEW, WWE.
I feel your energy of like.
I got one because I'll start off. We started off the year very well. Royal Rumble, where we had Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar. That was high hopes for that. We actually saw the man get beat up a little bit. We thought that year was going to start pretty well.
He tapped him out?
Yeah.
That happened this year
that
too?
was beginning. I was just about to tell you.
And they even had advertising that says "We Believe." You remember that?
Yeah, it was to make us.
Something got switched.
Plans for my 50th birthday, which is I want to buy myself like the Austin style trucks.
A pickup truck?
Yeah, when I'm 50. That's my plan, buy a truck.
I thought you were going to say you want a van.
Alright. You guys ready?
We're ready to roll. Oh, you already?
Yeah, it's already rolling.
So,
we were talking about.
We were talking about
the Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix
is one of the worst films of 2019.
Yeah, I would definitely put that on the list. As it had so much potential, and then I just watched it, and I was just like, "What are they doing?" Like,
well, that's the thing. Where were they going with this movie?
Another thing to highlight.
Oh, well, we can't forget. Wait. That is the last movie right after the Disney 20th Century Fox
Disney Fox
merger.
Yeah.
That is the last like X-Men movie that they had for them. So that might have been one of the things that there's speculation that they were just like,
It didn't have to be bad. You're supposed to
you're supposed to go with it.
They were just like, we don't care what happens.
It's because you got everyone back. You had Jennifer Lawrence. You had the Quicksilver guy. You just made them like. She died really quick. He got messed up in his leg. Like,
son, I was going to point out Storm because Storm is a character who I pray gets her own movie one day. But even the iterations of Halle Berry in them. Why is it that the Storm character always like gets like someone throws a pebble
thrown around?
And like, what?
Well, okay, let me. I'll go with that. She is definitely. Sorry to cut you off. The Storm character is not physically strong. She can manipulate the weather, but she's not physically strong. So yeah, if she does get knocked upside the head with a stick, she's almost like
she's like out for the count. They always do that in every X-Men movie.
But they could have advanced
her badassness
at all. They just have a scene where they're like, "Can you make it cloudy?"
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's the same thing with the Quicksilver. That's why they gave him that whole moment in that one movie where he's like, "All right," and he just moves the bullets. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah.
I think that
him, like when the house blew up, like you could have done that.
Yes.
But then in this last movie, they put like a stick on the floor and he trips and he's done.
He's like, "Oh, trip and fall, break my legs, I'm done." I think that what Marvel, this is just some advice for Marvel, in now taking the reins with X-Men, it's so fucking easy to do X-Men. I'm just gonna say that if you can either do it one of two ways. You can either do it as a long form TV series where you make me care about these characters, or if you want to do that same thing in the movies, like you did with the '90s X-Men cartoon, which is like canon for everybody. You can do that in the movies, but the books that you need to go to and blow the dust off of is that entire run of Chris Claremont's run of X-Men. Because that's what they care about.
I don't know if they'll do a TV show only because of I'm thinking about The Gifted. Like, The Gifted was a pretty decent show to me, but I got canceled. So I'm like, I don't know if they...
I can't even say The Gifted was even an X-Men show. It was X-Men adjacent.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like.
Because
it was like,
though.
hey, do you know the Phoenix? Yeah, that's his cousin. What the fuck? Where is...
That's what I
I don't care about that.
That's
Like,
what I say about the movies when you're like, oh, they're gonna bring in these other carries for the movies. And I'm like, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, you're bringing these new people. Yet you never did Gambit.
Yeah.
And growing up as a kid,
like, it's never gonna happen.
So what happened with that Channing Tatum? It got teased. It was like,
I'm
if you're Marvel, if you're
open
doing
for
it,
other characters if they do it right.
Right.
Like
If
Guardians
do
of
it
the
right.
Galaxy. I didn't
Yeah.
know anything. I didn't even know they existed as long as they did before the movie.
Exactly.
So if they do it right.
Yeah.
what other worst of the
Child's
year?
Play.
I got
Child's
one for you.
Oh no, you go ahead.
No,
Sorry,
you go first.
Go first.
I know you guys remember Captain Marvel.
Oh, you didn't like
Worst
that?
of the year?
Yeah, I didn't
That was
like
wait.
that.
Oh yeah, that was this year.
I'm gonna tell you why.
It wasn't.
They-
it wasn't
they-
the greatest.
no.
It was rushed.
That movie was rushed. Came out about 2 months before Avengers because we needed to know who she was. That movie.
Yeah, that's
was
it.
rushed.
That's what I told you.
You kind of
I
just
said it
threw it at
literally
us.
just
It was
served
like
the purpose
making a
of this
sandwich
got
and
Marvel.
it was
Okay,
like
the
you
game
made a
game.
sandwich and you forgot to put the meat.
Yeah.
Well, goddamn.
No, that's why that's why they made it mad. Like you just needed to. She's gonna be in. We just
I
gotta
think
throw
they're
this
gonna
movie.
make sure that the sequel is a lot better. But you know, this probably just sounds personal, but it's not. But I mean, for someone who doesn't really stop for their fans, I don't really care if her movies tank anyway. So
Sorry, Bree.
let me stop.
Hey, come on,
Let me stop.
Please,
No, I'm
can
with
you
on
do us
that,
a
though.
favor
It hasn't
to
even
see?
happened to me, but she sounds like a dick from all the things that I've heard about her. So.
You gotta see
Yeah.
Just Mercy. Y'all gotta see Just Mercy.
I'm
But
going
She
even
went
in-
for Michael
Okay.
B.
I'm gonna watch it when I go
even
to
in-
Jordan. I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
Jamie
watch
Foxx
it.
too. Yeah.
Even in, I mean, that still doesn't, you know, even if I see Just Mercy, it's like you don't stop for your fans. So it doesn't really change anything.
Exactly.
You can have
See,
a
that's why I said
stellar
Michael B's gonna
performance.
suffer because you're like, Brie Larson, why?
I was
No, I
really
still wanna
excited
see
for
it.
that until she came up on the screen, and I was like,
Yeah, I was like Michael B, Jamie Foxx. I'm like, I'm in. And then Brie
yeah.
Larson, it's like, oh,
she
yeah.
like popped up, and I'm like, no.
I'm
But that's what I
used to be
mean.
a
Like a
hardcore
person
fan
can kill
from-
something for you. Like that. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
can kill something for you, and that's terrible.
I'm trying to remember, not to get too far back, just thinking of worst things.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember if it was it this year that we found out that Hulk Hogan was racist. Was that this year? Or was
Yeah.
that?
I think.
I feel like that was like that whole
That
conversation
we-
that
that
came
we-
to
that-
light.
that
That
we
we
did?
discovered it, or
No, we knew it though. No, we knew.
You mean that me and
Was it-
you mean
but
that
didn't
me
that
and
come-
mean you.
You
Yeah, I was
found
gonna
out
say
this
you
year.
mean
For a long
you mean me
time.
and you
Me and you?
discovered
Because
it.
we knew
Oh.
from
Because
way
it
back
happened
when we had
way-
that conversation.
Oh.
Because that conversation that took
That was
place
a
is
long
from a
time
couple
ago.
years ago. That's
More than
why.
a couple
Oh.
years ago.
Yeah, it's just that footage. Finally, just someone decided to post it.
I'm just
again.
saying
was
that
horrible
when
moment.
that it's you can't get it out of your head after something like that
Yeah.
happens. It's like even if he was like I said, he could invite us to his house and be like, you know, guys, we're gonna do the show and have room, you know, catering. My brain is still like my brain would still be like in his mind. He's like, like that's how my brain would just be, you know.
no,
going,
no.
like,
So you got to remember what he said specifically. What he said specifically was like, at least if we're one of the rich ones, we're okay. That's what it was. So you got he's specific. You know, he wasn't just saying
I mean,
everybody
yeah.
had to be.
Unfortunately, some things you can't come back from. Let's say in his head, let's say yeah, he was genuinely sorry and he should have never done it. I feel like those are the type of things that happen that.
But how do you
Come
just
back from.
randomly get angry and then turn it into racism? That's what I don't understand. 'Cause
Yeah.
I get angry all the time and I don't just attack a race. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Usually,
not an
anger
excuse.
brings out some truth.
That's what I'm saying.
That's-
So it's what you feel on the inside.
Or being drunk or that, yeah. That's
Yeah.
where you get the truth.
That's what my biggest gripe is when people are like, oh, well, she was, because like even when we go out and that woman yells the N word to people and it's like, well, she's angry at the person. They're like, well, doesn't give her the
That's
right
her default when she's angry. Then it's something
like
that's in
something's
there.
wrong with you, or something that you harbor, or that you don't like. You know.
When you're going around hunting for a black bastard, you're
Oh, that
Yeah.
I was
that
so hoping y'all to come over.
what?
I was hoping I wasn't gonna bring it
Oh
up.
my god!
so
I said before.
What?
I said before to that. When he did that, I just wanted to see his publicist's face, like the handler. I wanted the camera to be on the handler's face when he's saying that out loud.
Wait, did you guys ever get over that, or was it just like a thing that you were like, nah, this guy is just done?
The thing is, I like him as an actor and stuff, but I cannot say that once something like that happens that I'm not thinking this is fucking racist. Like if we met him on a red carpet, and we interviewed for him for a movie, I feel like my brain would be telling me he's racist. You know, like.
See, but I feel like it would be opposite, because I feel like he's gonna be on the other end, like, damn, they think I'm racist. They think I'm pretty, you know what I mean? And he's like, I didn't. It was just a moment. Because I'm like, it was an interview that he was having, and he didn't have to bring that story up.
But
like,
why
you know
bring it up? You die with it.
I know.
Die with
it
it.
shouldn't
Don't.
have ever come out. But my thing is, he didn't hide from it and go. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, they won't
Stand
say
up to his
anything.
racism.
Yeah, the next day he went
not,
on the-
not like that. It's just that he addressed it and it was like that was like so long ago, and I learned from that stuff. I had to go and.
But it's like no one asked him to even.
I
say
know
that.
that. I know
The
that.
interviewer is like the person interviewing him's like. So,
I'm pretty
so
sure
how
that
did you-
person felt like I got gold.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Like that person.
That's like you interviewing him and he dropped a bomb.
Yeah,
You're like,
I'm like,
oh my
why
god,
is it like-
TMZ, where you at? Markell's
That's
like,
like
TMZ.
I'm like, so tell us how you get a part of this film, and he's like, then the black bastard. And all
Yeah.
Would you like me to repeat
Yo,
that?
what did you say in that interview?
What
That
did-
was us.
Like, do we have to pretend not to be angry when he's saying that? Because I feel like that's what would happen. Okay.
Well, then when they look at you, they're like, oh, he
So
just
then
took that.
basically what happens is he's gonna come over to the red carpet and see us. He's like, I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, but see, wait, I'm gonna go back. I know that we were just talking recently about the Camila Cabello thing. Did you look that up? Because I'm like,
I
are you
didn't
gonna
see
feel
that.
like she's racist?
When yes,
See?
I'm gonna say that.
You looked it up,
For
you did
one,
the research.
no, for one,
Wait, you guys gotta inform me this. What is this? What's
Give me a minute.
for one, off the like. I guess this ain't off the record, but
It's on the record.
I'm a huge fan of hers, and I only think she's hot, but also think like her music's great. And I was just watching her performance on Fallon not too long ago. So when you told me that, I was like, wait, what? And I like started going on Google and looking up stuff, and I feel like betrayed. Like
I feel betrayed.
Because
like-
it's not just
like
one
your
thing.
music.
Yeah, there was a
multiple
whole Tumblr
things.
that someone went through that was her Tumblr, and she was just like retweeting things where it was like
And
black
that's why I
lady,
say, like, why
you know,
did you-
chicken and eating, like, you know, just like, things
She
like
put
that. And
there was like
saying
a
the
meme
N-word
where a
and-
guy was like holding instead of
A basketball,
basketball.
he
It
was
was
holding
a bucket of chicken
away
and
from
the other
the
guy
black
was
kid.
posted up. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why even put yourself in that predicament where you doing that?
There's
That's
just
what I
so
mean.
many
like,
different. That's why I said I gave her the pass the first time that I heard
Yeah, I know.
something.
That's
and
why
then-
you gotta give all the credit to
that's what-
Normani, who dealt with
That's why I
that
said
in the group.
what's his name?
And she took it
the,
for all
the
those
Indian
years.
comedian who said like an educated and smart racist is a better racist. Look, I got no control over who wants to be racist out there in America. And I'm like, at least hide it. Be racist at home, dude. Like, I'm not trying to.
Hogan was trying.
Yeah, like
Somebody
I'm not.
recorded.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to sabotage.
Trying to be
Like, don't
bipolar.
sabotage your career. You're gonna be racist. That's okay. All right, you decided that. But you know what? When I'm out on red carpets, I'm like, hey, you doing? When I'm home, yeah, Black Rasta. Yeah. When I'm home, but when I'm out, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, of course. I just donated $5,000 to the United
And
Negro
that is
College
Liam and Hulk Hogan's poses. Like, come on, be racist at home. We gotta make money out here.
That's a PR nightmare. Like, how am I supposed to sell it? Like, all right, think about that now. How is that his people? How he's supposed to come to AOL now? Susan, like, yeah, we booked.
Yeah,
we
because we
booked
saw
for the
that when
next.
we were at GMA for him, and I was like, "Are you going to try to stop him at GMA?" And he did not look at anybody. He just walked inside like.
Yeah, we're just standing there. I was like,
Because he's
Oh,
probably
that's right. That
he's
happened
probably
right before he was
embarrassed.
coming.
But I feel like that's what I'm saying. That's the same day he addressed everything, and I literally was telling Markell before he got there. I said, if he's smart, he'd go inside, have a conversation with one of the black anchors, and like let them ask
But
him
even
questions.
his,
Like, you know what I mean?
even to me,
Yo,
that
that was
interview
a
that he
horrible
did with the
interview.
lady,
I don't
even
think
that
it
one.
was.
Because she was just looking at him like.
Because she wanted to know, like, you know.
But even his answers just sounded like bullshit to me.
I'm going through some troubles. It's like, all right.
Like his answers sounded like.
I didn't hear him say that.
No, it wasn't that. It
this
was like
is-
more like he's
But he
dealt
said it was
with
something
it.
that was back.
Yeah,
his
but
wife
he's talking
died
about
and
something
all
that happened
stuff.
way back
No, not his
then.
wife. Somebody said that when we were
And
outside.
I think,
His wife died, and that's when
and I-
like it happened way before that. So
And
what
I
are you
think
talking about?
even I forget the name of the interviewer, but I think even
Robin
even
Roberts.
she asked him like, no one asked you to like.
Yeah,
even she
yeah.
even
Like
said
her
like, no one
face
asked you to
just
bring
said,
it up.
I don't want to do this.
That's why I enjoyed her speaking to him, because it's like she actually asked the questions we wanted to hear. Like, why the fuck did you bring that shit up? Like, you
And
know
he
what I
was
mean?
like,
He answered.
and then his answer was like, you know, like I just kind of like butter on the toast with the jelly, you know. So,
Well, he has
like
to
I felt
say-
like his answer wasn't really an answer.
It's
Yeah.
like the publicists tell you, hey,
You
gotta
can say it's
fix
something,
this
but
as
don't
much
say
as
all
you
of
can.
it. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go and you just be at 1%. Don't go in there and say no dumb shit. Be like, you know, there was a time I forgot that one black bastard. Like that wasn't the first time. Like,
oh god. See, now that if that happened, then it would be like,
You
but that's
know,
what I'm saying. It's like, do you?
if I was his publicist, I swear that I would have taken that footage from that interview and I would have had Liam Neeson come on somebody's show and go, you know what, I'm so sorry guys, that was actually some archive footage from an audition I was doing. I'm so sorry that you guys even saw that. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
I
once
think,
again, he would try to bury it.
my end point of that was I gave him the one pass that white people get the one time if it happens. Because even Eminem had one of those and he got that pass. So I
Justin
have to give
Bieber
him-
at the moment too.
I'm not
Justin
sure where
Bieber
I'm at with
too.
Justin Bieber. I'm not sure. I want to give him the pass. I really do.
I never really cared too much for him, but
But that's the point. I think because I didn't care too much for him, that I'm just like, okay, here we go.
well, rounding up our best of 2019. Once again, your worst
Yeah.
was, you said what, Child's Play?
Child's Play. And
Child's
I,
Play.
Totally
I don't
agree.
even
Enough
have any
said.
words for the movie. It was
Same.
just a bad movie.
Same.
Your worst was Dark Phoenix. I will join you and say Dark Phoenix. I'm a huge fan of X-Men. I love everything X-Men, and it was just not great.
Oh, Ronnie, I know one that you would probably say. What about Hellboy?
That piece of garbage! Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
It was.
Wow.
It wasn't what I thought it was.
When you're
gonna
just like,
be.
it was.
I know you
No,
like the lead guy, but yeah, David
David
Harbour,
Harbour,
was
awesome.
Another
movie,
one
not
that
so
was
good.
really bad was that hide and seek movie. What do you call that? What was that? You don't even know. The girl
Well,
with
the
the
one
white
that we
dress.
thought was Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. Yeah. What do you call
Oh,
it?
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. That shit
Yeah,
was,
that wasn't too
it was
bad.
awful.
Yeah, when you have to say it wasn't too bad, it was usually
There was some
yeah.
scenes that were very like questionable, like how we said the guy was in the car, and then the next minute he was.
Oh, did you
with
guys
her.
see Knives Out yet?
No,
That was
no,
bad,
no.
Okay,
too.
just we'll leave that for another
I think
day.
That yours the
I'll
worst?
add that one to my worst because if I'm watching the movie and I get distracted enough to watch the girl's sweater for about 10 minutes, and then I'm like,
Jamie
okay, I'm
Lee
watching
Curtis
the
showed up.
movie.
She's like, "That's a nice sweater she's got." I'm like, what?
I'm just sitting there looking at the shirt, and I'm like, the guy behind me is snoring. I mean, like, it's just so much of a. It was
Just not a great experience.
for me anyway. Yeah, it was one of the worst.
Well, it has been an absolutely wonderful 2019, and thank you guys for being a part of it
Thank you
with
very
us. We're happy that this is the last show of 2019. We have so much more coming
In 2020.
In 2020, again, we launched this. What you're watching right now, or listening to, if you're listening to it on a podcast, what's happening right now. On YouTube, we have a lot more channels that are coming. We have a lot more things that are happening. And again, we're so grateful for this opportunity. And thank you guys for checking this out. If this is your first time, hit that like or subscribe button.
Wherever it
Hit the
may
bell
be, it might be
icon.
right here.
It could be anywhere. It could be floating around my head. So I will say that what are you guys looking forward to most in 2020? Just to round it on home.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. You?
Catching Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. We're coming for you. Hey, you.
Me, the Marvel TV series.
Nice.
I am going to say the end of Supernatural.
Don't say that, cause no.
She can't think about that yet.
That's why I can't look forward to it. I can't. No.
I'm looking forward to it because I just need to know. I just need to
See,
know
I'm not in that
how it.
place.
She's not ready.
How
Though.
it
It's more episodes, man. You can't get to the end
I
yet.
mean, I've only been a fan for like the last 5 months, so I'm like, I just need to know.
There's still
how this
meat on the
comes
sandwich,
together.
man. It's gotta be eaten.
With that said,
That show is literally the same age as my daughter, my oldest daughter. So.
I didn't even think about that.
That
Wow.
show's longer than the Marvel run so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15.
But that's literally what Marvel did, is just make a television series happen. Like, Endgame was nothing more than a series finale. That's why it was a culmination of the entire show that you watch. It's just way more hours and so many years of waiting for it. So, Yeah. Lisa didn't have an ending like Game of Thrones. So.
Yeah.
What would you guys think of Star Wars?
Rise of the Skywalker, that is going to be coming up in our next show, the Rise of the Skywalker review, where we're going to break that down. But for now, I'm Markell.
And I'm Ronnie.
Angry Princess. Oh shit, that's not my name.
You got so many names.
Hey, Angry Princess.
Don't worry, the names will be at the bottom of the screen.
my
You can see
Instagram.
them
Queen of
here
the
somewhere.
Universe.
Queen of the Universe. I am sorry.
Pots on Merit.
And this has been the
Signing out.
Ronnie and Markell Make a Podcast Show. See you next time,
See
and
you
thanks
next
for
year.
tuning in. And Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Reality.
Hey guys, this is Markell.
And it's your boy Ronnie.
Thank you so much for watching this video.
If you like what you just saw, you definitely want to go ahead and hit that like or subscribe button.
It's somewhere around here.
Somewhere. Might
Could be down here.
Near Spro, I don't know.
But make sure, more importantly, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see more of this juicy content.
Definitely.
I'm Markell.
I'm Ronnie.
And this is Ronnie Markell Maker Podcast. You know.